Chapter 743. 743 join forces to kill Lu Ming. Could it be that Lu Ming will be able to get first place this time? It's possible, but I don't know if there are any other dark horses. For example, the Sky Corpse Sex Corpse King and that fatty are both extremely terrifying and unfathomable. The other members of the previous 10 Heavenly Kings are also extremely terrifying. In the past few years, no one knows how strong they are. Perhaps they are even stronger than Jiang Taishu? Furthermore, the Heavenly Steel world is not a one-on-one battle. It's hard to say who will take first place. Lu Ming's actions caused a lot of discussion. Half an hour later, Jiang Taishu's figure appeared hundreds of thousands of miles away. As soon as he appeared, he coughed up another mouthful of blood. Lu Ming, I'll kill you." Jiang Taishu growled in a low voice. He was extremely angry. He had actually lost to Lu Ming. It was simply unbelievable and hard for him to accept. This time he was very ambitious and was determined to win the first place. However, he was defeated by Lu Ming on the first day. This was a huge blow to him. He hated Lu Ming to the core. He must kill Lu Ming. "Lu Ming, no matter how strong you are, you're alone. I'll kill you after I gather the other experts of the Jiang family. I'll definitely win first place this time." Jiang Taishu's eyes glowed with malice and killing intent. "Haha, Jiang Taishu, why are you in such a sorry state? Are you besieged by the Heavenly Corpse sect?" Ah! A laugh sounded as two figures stepped through the air. Wang Ju. Jiang Taishu's eyes glinted. Wang Ju, a member of the ancient Wang family, ranked 8th in the last Heavenly King list. Next to Wang Ju was Wang Mie, but he was directly ignored by Jiang Taishu. "What's wrong? Wang Ju, you want to take advantage of my injuries to steal my monument chi?" Jiang Taishu looked at Wang Ju warily. "Haha, brother Jiang, what kind of person do you think I, Wang Ju, am? Even if I have to fight with you, I won't take advantage of you." "What? Did you really get besieged by the Heavenly Corpse sect?" Wang Ju said. "It's not the Heavenly Corpse sect. Would you believe me if I told you that I was defeated by a single person?" Jiang Taishu shook his head. "What? Was he defeated by a single person? Was it Luan Zhan, Dongfang Yu, or First Ghost?" Wang Ju's expression changed drastically as he said a few names. These people were all as famous as them and were extremely powerful. Jiang Taishu shook his head. "Neither. He's a rising genius named Lu Ming and Wang Ju. I suggest we work together. Otherwise we're no match for him alone." Lu Ming? Wang Ju's eyes flickered. "Lu Ming, it's him?" On the side, Wang Mie's expression changed drastically. "Oh, I have forgotten that you seem to have a grudge with Lu Ming." Jiang Taishu's eyes flashed. "Lu Ming, that little bastard, is actually so powerful." Wang Mie was in disbelief. "Hee, there's nothing to lie about. You're just lucky. If Lu Ming were to unleash his full power, he would only be able to kill you in a few moves." Jiang Taishu looked at Wang Mie and chuckled. "I really didn't expect that you would lose to Lu Ming in a head-on battle." Wang Ju's eyes were extremely solemn. He was Jiang Taishu's rival and he knew very well how terrifying Jiang Taishu was. If even Jiang Taishu had been defeated, then he was probably no match for Jiang Taishu either. This person's existence is a huge obstacle for us to fight for first place. Other than first place, what's the difference between the other rankings? Jiang Taishu said. "Oh, are you thinking of joining forces to get rid of Lu Ming together?" Wang Ju said. "That's right. You guys should join forces and gather the other experts from the Jiang and Wang families. Also, aren't some of Lu Ming's friends here as well? That girlfriend of his is very pretty, and there's also that trash from the Golden Sword sect. As long as we capture them, Lu Ming will definitely be wary. It will be much easier to kill him then." Jiang Taishu said with a cold glint in his eyes. "Haha, Jiang Taishu, it seems like you're really afraid of Lu Ming. Alright, I promise you. I'll gather the people from the two families first, then capture Lu Ming's friends. Then I'll wait for Lu Ming at the exit." Wang Ju laughed. "Alright, let's get moving. We'll meet at the exit," Jiang Taishu said with a cold face. Wang Ju smiled and left with Wang Mie. "Humph, I'll deal with you guys after I'm done with that Lu Ming bastard." Jiang Taishu's eyes were cold. He took out a few pills and swallowed them. Then he sat cross-legged and began to heal himself. 2 hours later, Jiang Taishu rose to his feet, transformed into a beam of light, and disappeared without a trace. In the world of the Heavenly Steel, not even voice transmission jade talismans could be used. If one wanted to find someone, they could only fly and try their luck. However, many people from the Jiang family and the Wang family had come in. Gradually, some people had gathered. Jiang Taishu had even formed an alliance with Luan Zhan from the Luan family to kill Lu Ming together. People from the three ancient families started to search for Xian Yinqing, Jian Filiu, and the people from the Metal Sword sect. This time, other than Jian Filiu, the Golden Sword sect had sent a total of 29 people. However, only 9 of them had successfully made it in. Jin Zhaokai was one of the 9. He had cultivated for more than 800 years and was an extremely powerful pinnacle king tier in the Golden Sword sect. However, at his age, the chances of breaking through the Spirit Ocean realm were extremely small. However, the Heavenly King ranking was an opportunity and he wanted to give it a try. Now he had already gathered 72 strands of qi. Perhaps there was still hope. At this moment he suddenly stopped. In front of him, 3 figures were walking over. Jiang Taishu. Jin Zhaokai's expression changed. The leader of the 3 people in front was Jiang Taishu. Looking at the cultivation technique you're cultivating, you're from the Metal Sword sect, right? Jiang Taishu asked with a gloomy face. That's right. I am from the Golden Sword sect. If young Master Jiang needs the monument qi, I am willing to offer it all. Jin Zhaokai had lost all hope when he encountered Jiang Taishu. He knew that he could not hold back the monument qi this time. He could only exchange the monument qi for his life. Offer the monument qi? Hee, wouldn't I still get the qi of the steel after killing you? Jiang Taishu laughed coldly. At the same time he moved and pounced toward Jin Zhaokai, revealing his sharp edge. Jin Zhaokai was shocked and retreated frantically. At the same time he resisted with all his might, and the bright golden sword light slashed at Jiang Taishu. But in the next moment, the sword light was broken. His body shook violently and one of his arms was broken. Puchi. Jiang Taishu's palm pierced through Jin Zhaokai's heart. For what? Jin Zhaokai's eyes widened, full of unwillingness. Normally speaking, as long as one offered the monument qi, no one would be so ruthless. This was because they were all from the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace, not the Heavenly Corpse sect or the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace. What? If you want to blame someone, blame your Slaviers for being too close to that bastard Lu Ming. With that, he burst forth with energy and Jin Zhao died. Jiang Taishu waved his hand and put away Jin Zhaokai's golden sword. He said, "Let's go and find the next one." Chapter 744. 744 Despicable Means. This scene was happening in every corner of the Divine King Monument world. The 9 powerhouses from the Golden Sword sect who had entered were all killed. In the outside world, countless people saw this scene. Despicable, despicable. The remaining members of the Golden Sword sect who had not entered the Heavenly King Steel's world were all furious. Jiang Taishu and the others were too despicable. What are you guys talking about? In the outside world, there were also people from the Jiang and Wang families who had their eyes on the Golden Sword sect. The Metal Sword sect's people's expressions changed drastically, and they didn't continue speaking. Humph, the world of the Heavenly King tablet is not like the battle stage where you can fight one-on-one. You can use all kinds of methods, don't you understand? Once you enter, you must be prepared to be killed. Someone from the Jiang family shouted coldly. Although the others were indignant, they could only keep their mouths shut because the ancient family was too powerful. Look, that's Lu Ming's girlfriend and Jian Filiu. They're going to meet Jiang Taishu. Wang Ju is also here. Wang Ju is also nearby. It's over, this is dangerous. On the steel, 2 figures appeared. They were Xian Yinqing and Jian Filiu. Xian Yinqing and Jian Filiu met by chance half a day after entering the Divine King Monument. They decided to work together. I wonder where Brother Lu is. Jian Filiu said. Don't worry about that fellow. No one here is his match. Xian Yinqing was very confident in Lu Ming. Suddenly Xian Yinqing stopped. Jian Filiu was stunned. The next moment his expression changed. In front of him, more than a dozen figures appeared. The leader was Jiang Taishu. Beside him were 2 young men, who were obviously the most powerful existences of the Jiang family. The other dozen or so people were all big men and old men, exuding sharp auras. Jiang Taishu. Jian Filiu's expression changed. He sent a message to Xian Yinqing, "Miss Xie, there are too many of them. Let's retreat first. The other party has killing intent, he might not let us go." Xian Yinqing said. Buzz. Jiang Taishu and the others were extremely fast. Like spirit weapons, they cut through the void and appeared in front of Xian Yanqing and Jian Filiu in an instant. Haha, Jian Filiu, and you, Lu Ming's woman, you won't be able to escape today. But don't worry, I won't kill you. I'll cripple your cultivation and then lead you to kill you in front of Lu Ming. Jiang Taishu's voice was very cold. It seems that you've been defeated by Lu Ming. Otherwise, why would you use such a method to deal with Lu Ming? Xian Yanqing said indifferently, his eyes filled with contempt. Bitch, shut up. Jiang Taishu's sore spot was touched. He growled and glared at Xian Yanqing with a ferocious expression. Bitch, Lu Ming is dead for sure. And you, I won't waste you. I'll serve you well in front of Lu Ming. Hee, a heaven's favorite from an ancient family? An expert on the heavenly king ranking? You're just a piece of trash. You've been defeated and you're trying to win through despicable means. You'll never be able to achieve anything. Xian Yanqing sneered, his face full of disdain. Bitch, you're looking for death. Jiang Taishu roared in anger. Haha, this girl has a sharp mouth. I like it. With a loud laugh, Wang Ju and Wang Mie brought over a dozen people and walked over. Jian Filiu's face was extremely serious, while Xian Yanqing frowned slightly. Wang Ju, you've come at the right time. Have you settled everything? Jiang Taishu said. Of course. Wang Ju waved his hand, and 4 golden combat swords flew out and stabbed into the ground below. Jiang Taishu also waved his hand. 5 golden combat swords flew out and stabbed into the ground. 9 golden battle swords were arranged in a row. You guys. Animal. Jian Filiu roared and his face looked terrible. Jiang Taishu, Wang Ju, and the others were actually hunting the members of the Metal Sword sect. With 9 members of the Metal Sword sect killed, Jian Filiu's eyes turned red. They shouldn't have died. They can only blame them Slaviers for being too close to Lu Ming. As for all of you, you will soon follow in their footsteps. Jiang Taishu smiled hideously. At this moment, the outside world was also frozen here. Many people were indignant and felt that the actions of Jiang Taishu and the others were shameful. However, the other party was a heaven's favorite from one of the 6 great ancient families. They didn't dare to say anything and could only keep it in their stomachs. At this moment, Jiang Taishu waved his hand and led a dozen masters of the Jiang family towards Xian Yanqing and Jian Filiu. Sky Devil Force Field. Xian Yanqing waved his hands, and the Sky Demon Force Field enveloped Jian Filiu and herself. Kill? Jiang Taishu roared and rushed into the field like a divine weapon. More than a dozen Jiang family masters also rushed into the Sky Demon Power Field. As soon as they charged into the Sky Demon Power Field, their expressions changed drastically, and they felt an unimaginable pressure. Ever since Xian Yanqing had successfully fused the Destruction Will and the Wind Will, the power of the Sky Demon Power Field had increased by a large margin. In addition, her bloodline had undergone nirvana and she had reached the 9th level of the king stage, making her even more powerful. Destruction Cut. The terrifying cutting power started to cut the people of the Jiang family crazily. Some of them immediately coughed out large mouthfuls of blood. They were severely injured. Break. Jiang Taishu let out a long howl. His palm was like a heavenly blade, cutting through everything. With a single strike, the force field in front of him was broken. Jiang Taishu strode forward and rushed in front of Xian Yanqing. The light in Jian Filiu's eyes turned golden. Dazzling golden light filled his hand and turned into a sharp sword light, slashing toward Jiang Taishu. Jumping clowns. You dare to attack me? You're looking for death. Jiang Taishu struck out with his palm again, which turned into a divine sword and crashed into the dazzling golden sword light. The sword light was shattered and Jian Filiu quickly retreated. His face turned red and he spat out a mouthful of blood. The difference between him and Jiang Taishu was too great. Even with the help of Xian Yanqing's Sky Demon Power Field, he was still far from Jiang Taishu's opponent. Jiang Taishu was like a divine weapon, unstoppable. He continued to break through the Sky Demon Force Field and went for Xian Yanqing. The right hand of the Sky Demon. Xian Yanqing mumbled. A black light bloomed from his body as he pressed his hand forward. In the air, a beautiful arm condensed like the most beautiful work of art in the world and shot toward Jiang Taishu. Jiang Taishu struck out with his palm, which collided with the beautiful arm. In an instant, Jiang Taishu's expression changed slightly. His body trembled and he took a step back. In the process of clashing with Xian Yanqing, he was bombarded by a powerful destructive cutting force. In the Sky Demon Power Field, he was actually at a disadvantage. This made his killing intent even more intense. First he was defeated by Lu Ming. Now he was at a disadvantage against Xian Yanqing. He could not accept it. Kill? Jiang Taishu's bloodline exploded and his aura grew stronger as he charged towards Xian Yanqing. Jian Filiu, you deal with those people. Leave this man to me. Xian Yanqing said to Jian Filiu. All right. Jian Filiu's body flashed and golden sword light bloomed, attacking the other people of the Jiang family. Those people were also very strong. They kept breaking through the sky demon force field, giving Xian Yanqing a lot of pressure. Not only did Xian Yanqing have to control the force field, but he also had to deal with Jiang Taishu. This caused the spectators to be extremely shocked. It was obvious that Xian Yanqing could overpower Jiang Taishu if he was alone. Chapter 745. 745 The Powerful Fatty. Jian Filiu wasn't affected by the sky demon force field. He used guerrilla tactics. A golden sword light kept moving around, attacking the Jiang family members from time to distract them and help Xian Yanqing reduce the pressure. Jiang Taishu went crazy and charged at Xian Yanqing. However, Xian Yanqing's bloodline martial skill was extremely powerful. Combined with the cutting power of the sky demon force field, he had the upper hand. Ah, Jiang Taishu, it seems like you're really done for. You can't even take down a woman. On the side, Wang Ju laughed. Wang Ju, are you just going to watch the show from the side? Jiang Taishu's expression was extremely ugly. He was Wang Ju's competitor, and he knew that Wang Ju had done it on purpose. Ha ha ha. Wang Ju smiled, but he was also very shocked in his heart. He did not make a move because he thought that Jiang Taishu would be able to take down Xian Yanqing and the others without him. In fact, if Jiang Taishu could not take down Xian Yanqing in a short time, it would be a blow to his reputation. Then he would make a move and decide the outcome in one fell swoop. However, he had never expected that Jiang Taishu would be at a disadvantage. Xian Yanqing's strength had exceeded his expectations. In the depths of his eyes, a murderous intent flashed. He suddenly agreed with Jiang Taishu's way of doing things. With these people here, would they still have a share in the first place? Jiang Taishu, let me help you win this girl over. Terrifying flames spread out from Wang Ju's body, and the surrounding temperature rose sharply. The purple flames seemed to have turned Wang Ju purple. Boom. Wang Ju's whole body was like a burning meteor, rushing into the sky demon power field and killing Xian Yanqing. Xian Yanqing's eyes turned serious. The hand of the heavenly devil. She formed a seal with both hands and two beautiful arms condensed in the air. One on the left and one on the right, they struck toward Jiang Taishu and Wang Ju respectively. Slut break. Jiang Taishu turned into a heavenly weapon like a strand of hair. He put his palms together and struck out. Rip. The void seemed to split open, and the palm struck a demonic hand. On the other side, Wang Ju's body turned into flames, burning everything as he threw out a shocking punch. Boom. Boom. The sky trembled and Xian Yanqing's face turned pale. He trembled and took 9 steps back. The sky demon power field trembled and almost dissipated. Not good. In the outside world, the metal sword sex people had very heavy expressions. Wang Ju and Jiang Taishu were too powerful when they joined forces. Who in the same realm could defeat them? In addition, the Jiang family still had more than a dozen experts, and the Wang family also had some experts who had not made a move yet. Xian Yanqing and Jian Filiu were probably dead. Bitch, I'll kill you if you still resist. Jiang Taishu shouted. Nest, are you guys fucking shameless? A group of people bullying 2 people. I can't stand it anymore. A voice rang out. A fat man carrying a battle axe rushed over at top speed. It's him? Everyone's heart moved. Fatty Kong Jin was also the one who had reached the 20th step and shattered 28 shields. Moreover, he seemed to be very close to Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing and the others. Fatty Kong Jin's arrival made Jiang Taishu and the others frown. Damn Fatty, I advise you not to meddle in other people's business. Otherwise, you'll end up in a very bad state. Jiang Taishu stared at Kong Jin with an unfriendly look. Fat my ass. You're the fat one. Your whole family is fat. Fatty's eyes widened as he cursed. When he turned to look at Xian Yanqing, he put on a smile. Little sister, are you all right? Who's your sister? Xian Yanqing's eyes widened. My wife is your sister. Of course you are my sister. Where is my brother-in-law Lu Ming? Kong Jin's eyes darted left and right. You. Xian Yanqing was speechless. He had never seen such a shameless person. So many people joining hands to deal with two people. You're really shameless. Today I'm going to deal with you. Kong Jin grabbed his great axe and revealed a hint of ferocity in his eyes. You guys kill this fatty. Wang Ju waved his hand and said to the Wang family. Wang Ju had also brought more than 10 people, each of whom was an expert. Kill this fatty. Wang Mie, who was also among them, waved his hand. Kill? More than 10 Wang family experts charged toward Kong Jin. Eat my axe. Kong Jin held his axe with both hands, stepped forward, and chopped down. Puchi. The next moment, an expert of the Wang family was cut in half. With a wave of his axe, 2 of the Wang family experts were cut in half. If you want to kill me, I'll kill you first. Kong Jin's fat body was like an ancient beast. He was carrying a giant axe that was as big as a door. No one could block his axe. Everyone gasped. This fatty was too strong. Those Wang family members were definitely experts. They were extremely strong existences among those at the same level, but none of them could block his axe. Wang Mie could only feel his body trembling and cold sweat pouring down. Inhuman, this fatty was simply inhuman. He was terrifyingly strong. In the blink of an eye, 8 out of the 10 Wang family experts had been killed by the fatty. Let's go. Wang Mie turned around and ran. Trash. Kong Jin berated. He looked at Wang Ju and Jiang Taishu and said, I heard that you guys were the last batch of the bullshit 10 heavenly kings. I was just about to give it a try, so you're the one. Kong Jin pointed his battle axe at Jiang Taishu. He rushed toward Jiang Taishu with the battle axe in hand. Jiang Taishu's expression turned ugly. His palm was like a divine weapon as he struck at the fatty. Clang. Jiang Taishu's body trembled violently and he was sent flying backward. Let's go out and fight. I won't take advantage of you. Kong Jin said as he flew out of the area covered by the Sky Demon power field. Jiang Taishu's expression changed and became extremely gloomy. Kong Jin's combat strength was too terrifying. Although he had been at a disadvantage in the Sky Demon power field earlier, who knew if Kong Jin had used his full strength? Even if he had left the Sky Demon power field, he was not sure if he could defeat Kong Jin. He even had a feeling that he would not be able to defeat Kong Jin. How did this happen? Jiang Taishu roared in his heart. How could there be such a perverted person? What are you doing? If you don't dare, then hurry up and get lost. Kong Jin berated. Brother Jiang, I think we should retreat first. This fatty is unfathomable and difficult to deal with. It won't be too late to deal with them after we gather more people. Wang Ju's expression also changed, and then he sent a message to Jiang Taishu. With Kong Jin's addition, it would be impossible for them to take down Xian Yanqing and the others. Let's go. Jiang Taishu shouted and turned to leave. The rest of the people followed Jiang Taishu and left. Oh. Xian Yanqing let out a long breath. Previously, she had controlled the Heavenly Devil Force field to trap so many experts at the same time and had to launch attacks continuously. At the same time, she had to deal with Jiang Taishu, which had consumed too much energy. If they continued fighting, they might not be able to hold on. Chapter 746. 746 Chapter 746 Gathering. And NBSP Hoo-hoo. Fatty was also gasping for air. Just now, he had looked courageous and invincible as he killed the 8 experts of the Wang family. In fact, he had used all his strength. One had to know that these were all extremely powerful experts. In a battle of the same level, it was almost impossible to be killed in one move. Each and every one of them was stronger than Qin Qingshan. In order to create such an effect and intimidate Jiang Taishu and the others, the fatty had used all his strength. It had consumed a lot of his energy and he could not maintain that terrifying combat strength for long. But fortunately, Jiang Taishu and the others were really scared off. Oh, I'm so tired. Fighting is really something that consumes a lot of energy. No, I have to quickly replenish my energy. As he said that, a roasted golden lamb leg appeared in Kong Jin's hand and he began to gnaw on it. Sister, we have to find Lu Ming's brother-in-law as soon as possible and join forces with him. Jiang Taishu and his people will definitely not let this go. Kong Jin mumbled as he gnawed on a leg of lamb. I'm telling you, I'm not your sister. Lu Ming he's not your brother-in-law. Xian Yanqing's eyes were wide open as he gritted his teeth. Oh look, you're all shy. You and Lu Ming will be together sooner or later. So will your sister and I. Don't worry. Kong Jin said as he gnawed on the leg of lamb. The fat on his chubby body trembled. He was extremely confident. Xian Yinqing gritted his teeth. He was speechless at this fatty and turned to leave. Brother Kong Jin, thank you for your help this time. Jian Filiu cupped his hands and said. What are you thanking me for? We're all family. Ah hey sister, wait for me. Kong Jin twisted his fat body and chased after Xian Yinqing. Jian Filiu smiled bitterly. This Kong Jin was really weird. The three of them searched for the others to seize the monument Qi while searching for Lu Ming. Jiang Taishu, Wang Ju, and the others were also gathering the experts of the Jiang and Wang families. In addition, there were also people from the Wan family. They also wanted to get the Dongfang family and the other two families involved, but the people of the two family heads were obviously not interested and did not agree. Time flew by, and in the blink of an eye, it was already the third day. There were still a few hours before the end of the 3 days. Lu Ming did not know about all that. These few days he had been snatching the Qi of the steel. Those he encountered, as long as they took the initiative to hand over the monument Qi, he would not make things difficult for them. If the other party refused to comply, he would not be soft-hearted. As more and more people were eliminated, the remaining people gathered more and more Qi. For every person he captured, he would obtain a large amount of steel Qi. Lu Ming already had more than 2,000 strands of steel Qi. This time there were more than 10,000 people who had entered. In total, there were more than 30,000 strands of Qi. He had obtained more than 2,000, which was not a small number. It was almost certain that he would enter the top 50 or even more. I haven't seen anyone from the Jiang family and the Wang family in the past few days. Also, I haven't seen Shaoqing and the others either. Lu Ming was in deep thought. He did not know if he was lucky or unlucky. 2,000 Qi is definitely not enough. There are still a few more hours before it's time to leave. I'll go and block the exit first and wait for the people from the Jiang and Wang clan to arrive. Then I'll snatch all their Qi. Lu Ming's lips curled into a cold smile. He had the same idea as Jiang Taishu and the others. Jiang Taishu and the rest gathered their men to ambush Lu Ming at the exit, while Lu Ming wanted to seize the steel Qi of the Jiang and Wang families at the exit. At the thought of this, Lu Ming flew in the direction of the exit. The exit of the Heavenly King Tablet world was at the center of the world. Once the 3 days are up, you have to leave through that exit. After 3 days, even if you kill someone, you won't be able to seize the steel Qi. What? As he got closer to the exit, he saw a few figures. Xian Yinqing, Jian Filiu, there was still room to enter. Lu Ming was overjoyed and flew up. Lu Ming. Brother Lu. Xian Yinqing and Jian Filiu's eyes lit up. They had been looking for Lu Ming for a long time but to no avail. Therefore they wandered around the area near the exit, waiting for Lu Ming. As expected, they met him. Haha, younger brother-in-law, we've been looking for you for a long time. Kong Jin stepped forward and grinned. Younger brother-in-law? Lu Ming had a puzzled look on his face. When did he become the fatty's brother-in-law? That's right, she's my wife's sister, so you're my brother-in-law. Kong Jin pointed at Xian Yinqing. Xian Yinqing's face darkened and he gritted his teeth. Lu Ming's lips trembled. This fatty was really a talent. Xian Yinjuan's cold and aloof figure appeared in Lu Ming's mind. He was like a pure and holy fairy who was aloof and looked down on others. If Xian Yinjuan knew that this fatty had taken her as his wife, what would his expression be like? Lu Ming did not know why, but he was looking forward to it. How have you been these past few days? Did you run into the Jiang family and the Wang family? Lu Ming said. Both Jian Filiu and Xian Yinqing's faces turned dark. What's wrong? You guys encountered it? Lu Ming's expression changed. That's right, not only did we meet, we even had a big fight. If it wasn't for Brother Kong's timely rescue, Monsieur and I would have been in danger. Jian Filiu sighed. Lu Ming, did you defeat Jiang Taishu? Xian Yinqing asked. Not bad. Lu Ming nodded. Jiang Taishu joined forces with the Wang family and killed all the members of the Golden Sword sect. Now he wants to capture us to threaten you, Xian Yinqing said. What? In an instant, Lu Ming was enraged and a cold killing intent burst out from his body. Xian Yinqing briefly explained what had happened during this period of time. Jiang Taishu should be killed. Lu Ming bellowed. He did not expect Jiang Taishu to be so despicable. He was no match for Lu Ming, but Jiang Taishu had gathered his men to kill the Golden Sword sect members and even wanted to capture Xian Yinqing and the others to threaten Lu Ming. Was this the pride of an ancient family? Then they must have gathered their men and are waiting for us at the exit. Good, very good. This time I must kill Jiang Taishu. Lu Ming's eyes were like lightning, filled with cold killing intent. Brother Lu, they have more people. Are you confident? Jian Filiu said. If there are too many people, then I'll take them down one by one. Little Qing, I'll need your cooperation later. Let's go all out and clear the small fish first. Lu Ming's eyes were like lightning. Haha, good, interesting. Watch me show off my power this time. Kong Jin then took out a demon beast leg and gnawed on it in order to replenish his strength. The four of them rested for a while, adjusting their condition to the peak, and then headed towards the exit. At this moment there were many people gathered at the exit. Jiang Taishu had brought more than 30 experts of the Jiang family. Wang Ju had also brought over 20 experts from the Wang family. In addition, Luan Zhan was a proud son of heaven from the ancient Luan family. He was as famous as Jiang Taishu and the others, and he also brought more than 20 experts from the Luan family. When the three parties gathered, there were close to 80 people. This was a terrifying power. Every single one of them was a peak-tier king, and some of them could even compete for the top 108. They were waiting for Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, and the rest. Chapter 747. 747 Chapter 747 Defeating them one by one. In the outside world, the scene on the Heavenly King Monument was also being switched between Lu Ming and Jiang Taishu. Lu Ming and the others are about to reach the exit. They'll meet Jiang Taishu and the others soon. Jiang Taishu, Wang Ju, and Luan Zhan add up to almost 80 experts. Lu Ming and the others can't possibly be a match for them. Wouldn't they be courting death if they charged forward like this? Maybe they have a way? This battle will definitely be exciting. Many people's eyes lit up as they stared at the image on the Divine King's tablet. There were also many people discussing it. Boom. Boom. At this moment, everyone suddenly felt two auras as deep as the ocean above their heads. An enormous pressure pressed down on them like the ancient divine mountains. Everyone looked up in shock. In the sky, two young figures had appeared. One of them was dressed in a purple robe and looked like a noble young master. However, his body was emitting an extremely hot aura, like a sun floating there. The other person was wearing a black robe and had his hands behind his back. He was like a peerless divine weapon that could destroy the sky. That's Wang Yan. Wang Yan from the Wang clan. And Jiang Taichong. Why are Jiang Taichong and Wang Yan, who are ranked in the top 100 on the list of top 1,000 talents, here? Aren't they cultivating in seclusion in a secret place to prepare for the Battle of Providence? That's right. They shouldn't have any interest in the Heavenly King ranking. Everyone was discussing in shock. Jiang Taishu is getting more and more useless. I thought he could win the first place after 3 years of silence. Jiang Taichong put his hands behind his back and smiled faintly. The new guys who rose up this year are quite interesting. Wang Yin smiled faintly. It's interesting, but it's a pity that his cultivation is too weak. It's not worth mentioning. Jiang Taishu looked at the scene on the Heavenly King's tablet as if he was watching a good show. If they didn't happen to pass by this time, they wouldn't have bothered to watch the Heavenly King ranking battle. Their goal was the battle of karmic luck. The others suppressed the shock in their hearts and continued to look at the screen. At this moment, Lu Ming and the group were getting closer and closer to the exit. Finally, both parties met. Boom. 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 When they saw Lu Ming and the rest, Jiang Taishu and the rest emitted a powerful aura. Lu Ming, you're finally here. I've been waiting for you for a long time. Jiang Taishu said coldly. Wait for me? What? You're not convinced after losing the last time? You want to fight me again? All right, I'll take you on any time. Lu Ming smiled faintly. Jiang Taishu gritted his teeth, his face gloomy. Lu Ming was rubbing it in. Moreover, he knew very well that he was not Lu Ming's match. Why would he fight him? Lu Ming, don't think that I'm afraid of you. However, this is not a fighting ring. I have a better way to defeat you. Why do we need to fight? Jiang Taishu said. If you're scared, then say you're scared. If you don't dare, then say you don't dare. And you're still acting so high and mighty. What other methods are there? You're just relying on more to win. Lu Ming said in disdain. The winner is king and the loser is bandit. Don't you understand this principle? Let's attack together. At this point, Jiang Taishu could no longer care about his pride. He only had one thought in his mind, and that was to kill Lu Ming. In his opinion, Lu Ming was the one who caused him to lose face. If Lu Ming was not that powerful, if Lu Ming had obediently allowed him to kill him from the beginning, why would he do this? It was all Lu Ming's fault. The Jiang family, the Wang family and the Luan family charged at Lu Ming and the rest. The aura of nearly 80 experts converged and it was terrifying. Retreat. Lu Ming muttered and the four of them retreated quickly. After that, the four of them split up and retreated in four directions. If you have the guts, don't run. Jiang Taishu roared. Let's fight one-on-one if you have the guts. Lu Ming sneered. Wang Ju, chaotic battle, let's kill one of them each. Jiang Taishu shouted. He led more than 30 Jiang family experts and chased after Lu Ming. Wang Ju, on the other hand, charged towards Xian Yanqing and Luan Zhan, leading his men towards Kong Jin. As for Jian Filiu, they did not care about him at all. As long as they killed Lu Ming and the other two, killing Jian Filiu would be a piece of cake. Xian Yanqing's figure was like a demon, forming a series of phantoms. His speed was extremely fast and he kept changing his position in the air. As for Kong Jin, he was like a fierce beast running wildly in the air. Buzz, buzz. Lu Ming used the 9 dragons' heaven-stomping steps and turned into a stream of light, appearing in front of the Wang family members in an instant. Xian Yanqing's figure flashed, leaving behind afterimages. Then he pressed his hands together and the sky demon force field burst out, enveloping some of the Wang family members. Exploding star fist. Lu Ming seized the opportunity and threw hundreds of punches in succession. Hundreds of fist gleams drowned 7 to 8 Wang family experts. Destruction cut. Xian Yanqing muttered as he unleashed a destructive slash. Their screams could be heard. Ah, damn it. Wang Ju charged towards Xian Yanqing like a madman. However, after Lu Ming threw hundreds of punches, he appeared beside Xian Yanqing in a flash. He used the 9 dragons' heaven-stomping steps and turned into a stream of light, leaving the place. As for the 7 or 8 Wang family masters who were surrounded by Xian Yanqing, they were already dead. The next moment, Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing appeared behind the Jiang family. Xian Yanqing reached out his hand, and the sky demon force field covered 7 or 8 of the Jiang family masters. As for Lu Ming, he launched hundreds of fist radiants. They didn't pick on Jiang Taishu. There were a few other extremely powerful existences, but they picked on those who were slightly weaker. These 7 or 8 people were also successfully killed. Damn it, kill. Jiang Taishu changed his direction and charged at Lu Ming in a frenzy. However, Lu Ming hugged Xian Yanqing and their figures flickered. They appeared in another direction and attacked together, killing another 5 to 6 Jiang family experts. The speed of Lu Ming's 9 dragons' heaven-treading steps was too fast. It was a divine-level martial arts technique and no one of the same level could compare to it. Damn it, Lu Ming, don't run if you have the guts. Stop and fight head-on. Jiang Taishu roared. Alright, let's have a one-on-one. Lu Ming's voice was heard. Jiang Taishu stopped talking. Lu Ming's figure flashed continuously. More than 10 experts from the Jiang family and the Wang family were killed. Streams of steel chi flew towards Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing. Both of them had more than 3,000 strands of steel chi. Tragic, too tragic. Jiang Taishu had brought more than 30 experts with him, but now there were only about 10 left and all of them looked pale. Wang Ju was even worse off. He only had 5 or 6 people left with him. Ah, Lu Ming, I want you to die. Wang Ju roared. Let's gather together. Don't split up. Jiang Taishu roared. The 3 parties quickly gathered together. Jiang Taishu, Wang Ju, and Luan Zhan each led a few of their strongest experts and guarded 3 sides to prevent Lu Ming from ambushing them. Lu Ming and the rest had also spread out and surrounded Jiang Taishu and the rest. This scene was extremely comical. The 4 of them surrounded dozens of people. Chapter 748. 748 Chapter 748 Powerful Counterattack. In the outside world, the others were also a little stunned. Earlier, Jiang Taishu, Wang Ju, and Luan Zhan had led nearly 80 experts from the 3 great ancient families to kill Lu Ming. In the end, dozens of them had died, and the rest were surrounded by Lu Ming's group of 4. This scene was destined to be a big joke in the East Continent. At this moment, Jiang Taishu, Wang Ju, and Luan Zhan all had extremely ugly expressions. They could not wait to turn Lu Ming and the other 3 into ashes. They knew that after today, they would definitely become a laughingstock and would be looked down upon by the other top 1,000 talents. They might even lose in the competition between their families. In each of the 6 great ancient families, they weren't the only chosen. Each of them had to bravely step forward, trampling over the other chosen before they could take control of the ancient family. However, if today's situation were to spread out, they would probably not have another chance. How could they not hate him? How could they not be angry? Jiang Taishu, what's wrong? You guys aren't going to make a move? If that's the case, you guys won't be able to get first place. Lu Ming smiled faintly. Lu Ming, I swear that from now on, there will be no place for you in the East Baron. Jiang Taishu roared. Aha, Jiang Taishu, don't flatter yourself. Do you think the Jiang family will send their elders to stand up for you after your performance today? Lu Ming sneered. Jiang Taishu gritted his teeth. He knew that Lu Ming was right. He could only use his own energy if he wanted to find trouble with Lu Ming. However, I don't want to just let it go like this. You're courting death. Lu Ming's eyes turned cold. I'll definitely take back the lives of the Golden Sword Sect's 9 disciples. Today I'll definitely kill you. Ha, Lu Ming, you're only relying on your speed to escape. Do you dare to fight me head-on? Jiang Taishu sneered. As you wish. Lu Ming stepped forward, his long hair flying in the wind and his fighting spirit soaring. Just now, he had successfully weakened the strength of Jiang Taishu and the others. Now it was time for a head-on battle. Lu Ming, leave the Wang family to me. I'll hold them back. Xian Yanqing's figure moved and appeared in front of Wang Ju and the others. Miss Xie, I'll go with you. Jian Filiu appeared beside Xian Yanqing, intending to assist her. Brother Kong, how about delaying the chaotic family? Lu Ming looked at Kong Jin. Haha, leave it to me. I'll let them know how powerful I am. Kong Jin grinned. Lu Ming could not see through Kong Jin. He felt that it was extremely powerful and gave him a sense of danger. There were very few people of the same level that could give Lu Ming a sense of danger. Although Wan Zhan was strong, he was not one of the top 10 Heavenly Kings from the last Heavenly King competition. He was ranked 602nd on the list of top 1,000 talents, which was slightly weaker than Jiang Taishu and Wang Ju. Kong Jin should be able to stall for a while. Lu Ming, on the other hand, was facing Jiang Taishu and the other Jiang family experts alone. He wanted to kill Jiang Taishu. The others in the outside world were also extremely shocked. Lu Ming and the rest were going to take the initiative and attack aggressively. It was unbelievable. One had to know that the peak-tier king tiers of the 3 great families were all experts. Some of them were existences that could compete for the top 108, but they actually wanted to launch an attack with only 4 people. This had never happened before in history. Interesting. Even Spirit Embryo Realm experts like Dongfang Hao and Enlightened 3 Corps revealed looks of anticipation. Sky Devil Force Field. Xian Yanqing made the first move, and the Sky Demon Force Field enveloped Wang Ju and the others. The Wang clan only had 6 people left. However, they were all experts. Do it. Wang Ju shouted. The 6 men from the Wang family were like 6 blazing suns, trying to break through the demonic power field and rush towards Xian Yanqing. However, in the Sky Demon power field, a terrifying cutting power burst out. Other than Wang Ju, it was extremely difficult for others to break it. With a dazzling golden light, Jian Filiu rushed into the Sky Demon power field. He didn't attack Wang Ju, but kept wandering in the Sky Demon power field. The sharp sword light kept stabbing at the other 5 people, hindering their movements. As for Xian Yanqing, he used the Sky Demon hand to attack Wang Ju. Wang Ju was at a disadvantage and was suppressed by Xian Yanqing. Haha, watch me heaven-suppressing demonic axe. Kong Jin laughed loudly. His fat body actually swelled up again. The battle axe in his hand, which was as big as a door, madly chopped toward the members of the Luan family. Boom. Boom. Kong Jin stepped in the air, causing the space to tremble. Each of his axe strikes seemed to be able to split open the sky and destroy everything. 8 rebellious slashes. In chaotic battle, he displayed the ultimate technique of the Luan family. 1 strike after another, and finally, 8 strikes converged into 1 strike, which collided with the battle axe that had advanced. However, the moment they clashed, Wan Zhan's saber trembled violently and almost exploded. His body was sent flying back like a cannonball and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Wan Zhan, who was ranked 602nd on the list of top 1,000 talents, spat out a mouthful of blood after being hit by Kong Jin's axe. Earth concept and shattering concept. Wan Zhan shouted in disbelief. Kong Jin had actually cultivated 2 extremely terrifying mentalities, the Earth mentality and the shattering mentality. Moreover, both of them were at the second level and had been successfully fused. How terrifying was it to have two special intents successfully fused together? Haha die. Kong Jin wielded a battle-axe the size of a door and charged toward the Luan family. Kong Jin killed several people in a row and no one could stop him. Let's join forces and kill him. Chaotic battle roared. The Heavenly King's Steel world was a pure martial arts world. They couldn't even form a battle formation. They could only gather everyone's power to fight against the void. Nearly 30 masters of the chaotic family attacked at the same time, and dozens of attacks poured toward Kong Jin. There are too many people. It's not easy to fight. The air advanced battle axe was waved, forming an iron wall to block the attack. The fat on his body trembled non-stop. They would then look for an opportunity to counterattack. The members of the Luan family did not dare to be distracted. They could only gather together and attack Kong Jin continuously. Otherwise, Kong Jin would seize the opportunity to counterattack and kill one of them. The Wang clan and the Luan clan were both held back. Jiang Taishu's expression turned even uglier. Kill? Lu Ming did not waste any more time. He strode forward and his aura burst out one after another. In the end, 4 kinds of intent surrounded his body, raising his aura to the limit. Let's join hands. Jiang Taishu shouted. With him as the leader, the remaining dozen or so Jiang family experts joined forces and charged toward Lu Ming. Suppress the heavens and earth. I'm invincible. Lu Ming let out a long howl and used the prison-suppressing heavenly art to strike out with his palm. Boom. A dazzling light flashed. The joint attack of the Jiang family was actually dispersed by Lu Ming's palm. Lu Ming advanced again and struck out with his palm. Bang. An old man's palm collided with Lu Ming's. He let out a blood-curdling screech as his body was torn into pieces. How can he be so strong? Jiang Taishu cried out in disbelief. Last time I didn't use my full strength and you managed to escape. This time you will die. Lu Ming let out a long howl and continuously struck out with his palms. The last time, Lu Ming had only used 2 intense wind and thunder. This time he had used all 4 intents. Lu Ming's combat strength had reached its peak. Bang. Bang. 2 more elders were split into pieces by Lu Ming. Chapter 749. 749 Killing Jiang Taishu. Kill him. Jiang Taishu seized the opportunity and slashed his palm at Lu Ming's waist like a heavenly knife. However, Lu Ming did not dodge. His spine twisted like a dragon and shook slightly, clashing with Jiang Taishu's palm. Bang. With a dull boom, Jiang Taishu's body trembled and he was forced to retreat. Impossible. Jiang Taishu cried out in disbelief. His palm, which could break through everything, hit Lu Ming's waist. Not only did it not cut Lu Ming into 2, but it was also forced back by Lu Ming. How was this possible? How could he know the marvels of the prison-suppressing heavenly art? Not only could the prison-suppressing heaven technique be cultivated to the hands and feet, but it could also be cultivated to the other parts of the body. At the highest level, every muscle in the body would be able to unleash the immense power of the prison-suppressing heaven technique, suppressing everything. After this period of cultivation, Lu Ming's prison-suppressing heaven technique had made further progress. Not only could he attack with his hands and feet, but he could also attack with his waist. Just now, he had used the prison-suppressing heaven technique with his waist and forced Jiang Taishu back. What a terrifying bloodline martial technique. It must be a demigod-level bloodline martial technique. Dong Fenghao's eyes glowed as he spoke slowly. Demigod-level bloodline martial technique? It's really terrifying. Many people exclaimed. Generally speaking, to comprehend a demigod-level martial technique from the bloodline, one would need to be at Sea of Soul Realm and above. Moreover, it was very difficult for ordinary bloodlines. Only those with divine bloodlines could easily comprehend demigod-level bloodline martial techniques. In order to unleash the power of a demigod-level martial technique, one would need to be at least at the Sea of Soul Realm. At the King's Realm, one's Jinyuan would not be strong enough, so they would not be able to unleash much power. However, it was obvious that Lu Ming had comprehended a demigod-level bloodline martial art technique when he was only in the King's Realm. Kill? Lu Ming's left hand burst out with a terrifying devouring power that enveloped the Jiang family members. His right hand was like a prison-suppressing steel that pressed down. Enveloped by the devouring power, the members of the Jiang family felt that their bloodline power was unstable, and their blood essence was faintly throbbing. Their combat strength had weakened even more. Bang. Bang. With one palm and one kick, Lu Ming killed 2 Jiang family experts. In just a few breaths, Lu Ming had killed 6 Jiang family experts. He was extremely ferocious. How can he be so strong? How can he be so strong? Jiang Taishu's eyes were wide open as if he could not accept this. Jiang Taishu has lost his will to fight. He's definitely going to lose. Someone sighed. Run. Run. This man is a monster. Run. Jiang Taishu suddenly shouted. His confidence had completely collapsed. He turned around and ran toward the exit. The exit was like a door. Once one ran in, they would be transported out. You can't run away. Lu Ming took a step forward and his body was like a stream of light. He caught up with Jiang Taishu in a few moments and struck his palm at Jiang Taishu. Bang. Jiang Taishu was sent flying. He coughed up blood and his eyes were full of fear. Save me, save me. Wang Ju, fight back, save me. Jiang Taishu shouted. At this moment, he no longer had his previous arrogance and the ambition he had before the start of the Heavenly King ranking battle. He was simply like a pitiful rat crossing the street, a pitiful worm. Right now he didn't want anything but to live. However, at this moment, how could Wang Ju and Ai Zhan save him? They themselves were extremely shocked. Buzz. And NBSP whoosh. At this moment, a group of figures flew over and stopped in the distance. First Ghost, save me. Let's work together and kill this man. Did you see how much chi he has? With him around, you won't be able to get first place. Jiang Taishu shouted madly. The people who came later were the experts of the Heavenly Corpse sect. The leader was a young man who was covered in a black robe. His eyes were full of ghostly chi. First Ghost's eyes swept across and he was shocked. However, when he saw the steel chi in the Heavenly King's steel shadow above Lu Ming's head, his eyes flashed with killing intent. Lu Ming's monument chi was much more than his. Not only Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing and even Kong Jin had more monument chi than him. First Ghost was also one of the 10 Heavenly Kings of the last Heavenly King list, ranked 9th. He wanted to get first place too. First Ghost, hurry up and attack. If this man rises up, it will be bad for your Heavenly Corpse sect. Jiang Taishu shouted. Shameless. In the outside world, many people looked down on him. Jiang Taishu was too shameless. He actually wanted to join forces with GUIE to kill Lu Ming, and the reason was that Lu Ming's rise would be detrimental to the Heavenly Corpse sect. Jiang Taishu was a member of the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace, and so was Lu Ming. This caused the anger of many people from the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace to soar to the heavens. The Empyrean Heavenly Divine Palace and the Heavenly Corpse sect were mortal enemies. Dongfang Hao and the others also shook their heads. Jiang Taishu's words would definitely be punished when they got back to the Jiang family. Jiang Taishu also knew that he would be despised and disdained if these words were spread, but he had no choice. What was more important than his life now? Bang. He was struck by Lu Ming's palm again. His arm, which was harder than a spirit weapon, was shattered. First Ghost, attack. Jiang Taishu roared. First Ghost's eyes flashed and he was about to step forward. First Ghost, I advise you not to make a move. Even I'm not sure if I can defeat this person. Suddenly, a figure appeared beside First Ghost and a hoarse voice came out. It was the Corpse King. Even you don't have the confidence to defeat him. First Ghost's eyes were filled with horror. Yes, didn't you see how miserable Jiang Taishu was? If you make a move, you might die here. It's better for us to sit on the mountain and watch the tigers fight. The Corpse King said in a hoarse voice. First Ghost let out a long breath and took a few steps back, but he didn't attack. Ah! Jiang Taishu shouted in despair. Jiang Taishu, no one can save you today. Lu Ming's eyes flickered with cold killing intent. Lu Ming, spare me. I'm the Jiang family's supreme talent. Killing me won't do you any good. Spare me. Jiang Taishu finally began to beg for mercy. It's even worse for me to spare you. Kill. The terrifying devouring power enveloped Jiang Taishu and his palm struck down. Bang. Half of Jiang Taishu's body had exploded, and he was only left with half a breath. His eyes were full of despair and pleading. Lu Ming did not move. He took a step forward and Jiang Taishu was torn into pieces. Jiang Taishu, who was ranked 6th on the previous Heavenly King ranking and was thought to be number 1, was killed by Lu Ming. The devouring power burst out and Jiang Taishu's blood essence was devoured. Currently, devouring the blood essence of a peak-tier king was not of much help to Lu Ming, but it was better than nothing. Retreat, retreat, will retreat. At this moment, Wang Ju, Luan Zhan, and the others no longer had the will to fight. They retreated frantically and flew toward the exit. Jiang Taishu was dead and the rest of the Jiang family had escaped. Even if they stayed, they would probably end up in a miserable state. Wang Ju took the lead and broke through Xian Yinqing's Sky Demon Force field, flying toward the exit. The other members of the Wang family followed suit. Lu Ming's eyes swept across the room. He took a step forward and turned into a stream of light, rushing toward the Wang family. Boom. Before he had even arrived, a fist radiance was blasted out, blocking one of the Wang family members. This person was Wang Mie. Chapter 750. 750 The Strongest Esper. Lu Ming, what are you doing? Wang Mie shouted, his face pale. What are you doing? Didn't you and Wang Meng join forces to knock me down the abyss when we were challenging the Heavenly King tablet? I'm a person who bears grudges. Lu Ming sneered, his eyes filled with killing intent. The other members of the Wang clan couldn't care less about Wang Mie as they all rushed to the exit. No, that was a moment of folly. Please let me go. Wang Mie's face turned pale and he almost peed his pants. Lu Ming was a devil and a ruthless man. He did not even let Jiang Taishu off. He had no fear of the Jiang family, so why would he be afraid of the Wang family? Therefore, he did not dare to mention the Wang family and could only beg for mercy. It's too late. Lu Ming took a step forward and struck out with his palm. I'll fight you to the death. Seeing that begging for mercy was useless, Wang Mie could only go all out. However, facing Lu Ming, who had unleashed his strongest combat strength, his outcome was already set. With a single palm, it was torn into pieces. The storage ring and blood essence would belong to Lu Ming. Of course, there was also the steel chi. At this moment, the Luan family, Wang Ju, and the others had already rushed into the door and disappeared. This Lu Ming is quite bold. He's not giving the Wang family any face at all. In the outside world, Wang Yan licked his lips as a hint of killing intent flashed in his eyes. Jiang Taichung's expression was also not good. In his opinion, no matter how weak Jiang Taishu was, he was still the Jiang family's chosen warrior. Lu Ming had killed Jiang Taishu in front of everyone, which was an insult to the Jiang family. In the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace, how many people would dare to not give face to the ancient aristocratic families? This made them feel embarrassed. In their position, they didn't care about the life and death of Jiang Taishu and Wang Mie, but it was a great sin to ignore the ancient families and embarrass them. This Lu Ming previously said in public that the Wang family was nothing. He alone is an ancient family. An old man from the Wang family walked up to Wang Yan. One person is an ancient family and you speak so arrogantly. You're just a mere king tier. No matter how strong your battle power is, what's the use? When faced with a stronger opponent, he would be able to suppress them with a single hand. Wang Yan's eyes flashed with anger. He really doesn't know the immensity of the heavens and earth. Jiang Taichung also spoke. Naturally, Lu Ming did not know that 2 top 100 talents on the list of top 1,000 talents had appeared outside. He also did not know that he had already offended them. However, even if he knew, he would not care. His eyes looked in the direction of the Heavenly Corpse sect. He didn't have a good impression of the Sky Corpse sect. If he had the chance, he wouldn't mind killing a few geniuses of the Sky Corpse sect. Thump. The Corpse King stepped out, shaking the earth and sky. Corpse chi filled his body, flowing like liquid. His eyes were filled with ferocity and a strong fighting spirit. Lu Ming, you're very strong. I'm not sure if I can defeat you in a real battle. However, this is only the Heavenly King ranking. You and I are both in the King's realm. In the face of the Battle of Providence, this is just a small fight. We'll meet in the Battle of Providence. How about it? The Corpse King's hoarse voice sounded. The Battle of Karmic Luck? Good. I hope you won't disappoint me when the time comes. Lu Ming said, his eyes full of fighting spirit. This King Corpse gave him a sense of danger. He was definitely a terrifying opponent that Jiang Taishu couldn't compare with. That's exactly what I wanted to say. Don't die before the Battle of Kismet. There aren't many good opponents. The Corpse King then looked at Xian Yinqing and Kong Jin. His eyes were also filled with battle intent. Then he strode towards the exit. As the Corpse King stepped in, the others also followed and disappeared into the portal. After a while, Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, and the other two stepped into the portal. The next moment, they appeared outside the Heavenly King Monument, at the edge of the abyss. Lu Ming, look. There are names on the Divine King Monument. Xian Yanqing said to Lu Ming. Lu Ming looked back. As expected, golden names had appeared on the steel. They were the rankings of the Heavenly King ranking battle. Lu Ming's name was written on the first place. Lu Ming, first place. Without a doubt, Lu Ming had obtained the most qi. He had killed many experts from the Jiang and Wang family and even Jiang Taishu, obtaining all their qi. His steel qi had already far surpassed the others. Second place, Xian Yanqing. This was not surprising. Previously, Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing had joined forces to kill many experts from the Jiang and Wang families. Xian Yanqing had also obtained a lot of steel qi. Third place, Corpse King. Fourth place, Kong Jin. Fifth place, Dong Fengyu. Sixth place, Jiuai. Seventh place, Wang Ju. On it, a series of rankings appeared. Jian Filiu also appeared on the ranking, entering the top 108. On the other side of the abyss, there were more than 100,000 people looking in this direction. Their eyes were filled with all sorts of emotions. There was envy, jealousy, hatred, and so on. Let's go. After Lu Ming was born, the four of them flew across the abyss. Above their heads, there was still the Heavenly King Steel's illusionary shadow floating. This kind of Heavenly King Steel's illusionary shadow could help them ascend the dark red steps at the top of the first Heavenly King Steel without being pressured or attacked. When Lu Ming and the rest came over, the crowd took the initiative to make way for them. The combat strength of Lu Ming's group of four had become stronger. With just the four of them, they had actually defeated the joint attack of nearly 80 experts from the Jiang, Wang, and Wan families. It was truly unbelievable. Many people looked at them with respect in their eyes. Although they were all peak-tier kings, Lu Ming and the rest were much stronger than the others. Boom. Boom. At this moment, two vast and incomparable pressures suddenly pressed down on Lu Ming and the others. Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, Kong Jin, and Jian Filiu's expressions changed drastically. They unleashed their powers to resist the attack. Even so, the four of them trembled and kept retreating. Jian Filiu in particular was coughing up blood. Bang. Lu Ming circulated the true war dragon technique in his body. He stomped on the ground and stabilized himself. He looked up. In the sky, two young men stepped through the air. One of them was covered in purple flames like a purple sun, emitting a terrifying temperature. The other one showed off his abilities like a peerless divine weapon. The Jiang family and the Wang family. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. It was easy to distinguish the aura that the two of them emitted. Could it be that Jiang Taichong and Wang Yan are going to make a move on Lu Ming and the rest? They're the top 100 on the list of top 1,000 talents. Their cultivation has long reached an extremely high level. Lu Ming and the others are only in the king's realm. It's a little unreasonable for them to fight against a king's realm expert with their cultivation, right? It's hard to say. After all, Lu Ming just killed Jiang Taishu and many experts from the two families. Whispers could be heard from the surroundings. Lu Ming, how dare you kill the Jiang family's prodigy? Do you know your crime? Jiang Taichong's eyes shot out two beams of sharp light like two divine swords. Life and death are determined by fate in the Heavenly King Steel. It's meant to kill each other and seize the steel qi. If we can't kill the people from the ancient families, is there still a need to hold the Heavenly King ranking battle in the future? Lu Ming was fearless. His eyes were like lightning as he shouted. Chapter 751. 751 The Dignity of an Ancient Family. Jiang Taichong frowned slightly when he heard Lu Ming's rebuttal. Lu Ming, you're right. The Divine King Monument does not prohibit killing. They died in battle because they were incompetent. However, let me ask you, one person is an ancient family. Have you ever said this? Wang Yan stood in midair, purple flames shimmering as a terrifying temperature emanated from him. The people nearby kept retreating, unable to withstand the terrifying temperature. I did. Lu Ming's answer was simple and clear. Haha, laughable, truly laughable. Wang Yan laughed out loud, his eyes shining as though two small suns had appeared in them. You're really stupid and ignorant. Do you know what an ancient family represents? He actually said that he is comparable to an ancient family. He really doesn't know the immensity of the heavens and earth. That's right. You think that you're so arrogant just because you have some combat strength, but in fact, you're just an ignorant fool. No matter how strong you are, you're just a martial king. A martial king can only do odd jobs in the ancient family. There are countless people in the ancient family who can kill you. Any one of them can suppress you with a single palm strike. Jiang Taichung also sneered. I can't do it now, but that doesn't mean I can't do it in the future. Lu Ming's gaze was firm, persistent, and full of confidence. Future? Let me tell you, in the eyes of the true geniuses of the East Continent, the so-called Heavenly King ranking battle is just a child's play, not worth mentioning. The real competition among the Eastern Continent's geniuses is above the martial king realm. The Battle of Providence in a year's time is the real battlefield of the geniuses, and you don't even have the right to interfere. Wang Yan's voice was filled with faint disdain. Wang Yan, there's no need to waste your breath on them. I'll let them understand right now how insignificant they are in front of the ancient family. They're even less than ants. Jiang Taichung took a step forward, and the aura on his body exploded with a bang. It was extremely terrifying. It was as if countless divine swords had gathered around his body, emitting sharp glints. Each glinted was a divine sword that pressed down on Lu Ming and the rest. At this moment, Lu Ming and the others trembled violently. Their protective true energy was completely useless as it was directly pierced through by the sharp light. It was as if their bodies were going to be pierced through with holes. Strong, he was too strong. Jiang Taichung was definitely not an ordinary spiritual ocean tier warrior. He had already walked a long way in the spiritual ocean tier. No matter how strong Lu Ming and the rest were, they were only at the martial king realm. The difference was too great, so great that they could not resist. No matter how strong a martial king is, he's still an ant in front of absolute strength. Jiang Taichung looked down at the crowd, his voice cold and aloof. I will definitely kill you in the battle of karmic luck. Lu Ming let out a long howl. Four-colored concepts surrounded him as he tried his best to resist. Killing me in the battle of Providence? What a joke. Jiang Taichung sneered, and the aura on his body grew stronger. Buzz. At that moment, the Heavenly King Tablet's shadow above Lu Ming's head suddenly shook and emitted a bright light. At the same time, Xian Yinqing, Kong Jin, and Jian Filiu's Heavenly King Steel shadows also trembled and shone brightly. The four people's lights gathered together. At this moment, behind the four of them, opposite the abyss, the Heavenly King Steel was also glowing. A huge shadow of the Heavenly King Steel suddenly appeared above the four of them. Boom. The Heavenly King Steel's shadow shook and dispersed Jiang Taichung's aura. Jiang Taishu took a few steps back and looked at the huge Heavenly King Steel's shadow with an ugly expression. Their pressure had caused the Heavenly King Tablet to move. A terrifying aura erupted from Wang Yan's body and pressed forward. However, he immediately followed in Jiang Taichung's footsteps and was forced to retreat. The Divine Monument's protection, humph. Jiang Taichung snorted coldly. You're lucky this time, Lu Ming. If you're really confident, go to the Sky Martial region or Nine Dragons. By then you'll understand the true strength of the ancient families. You'll also understand what a true heaven's favorite is and how insignificant you are. Wang Yan swept a glance at Lu Ming and the rest as he spoke indifferently. With that, he turned around, took a step forward, and disappeared. Jiang Taichung also turned around and left. This time they did not really intend to make a move on Lu Ming and the rest. Just as the crowd had guessed, with their cultivation, they could suppress Lu Ming and the rest with one hand. The difference was too great. If they made a move, they would instead end up with a reputation of bullying the weak. They only wanted to intimidate Lu Ming and the rest, to let them and everyone else understand the dignity and power of the ancient families. At the same time, it also proved their own strength. No matter how strong a martial king was, he was still a martial king. They were all under 30 years old, but they had already gone far beyond the level of a martial king. Now that they had achieved their goal, they naturally left. Humph, is the top 100 on the list of top 1,000 talents that great? I'll surpass them one by one sooner or later. Kong Jin snorted coldly in dissatisfaction. He took out a lamb leg and started gnawing on it. He wondered how many roast lamb legs this guy had in reserve. Lu Ming did not say a word, but his eyes revealed a strong fighting spirit. Before he had the ability, it was useless to say anything. However, as Kong Jin had said, he would surpass them one day. Lu Ming believed that that day would not be too far away. One person was comparable to an ancient family. This was only Lu Ming's initial goal and he had to achieve it. If he could not even do this, how could he compete with the #1 martial emperor? Let's go. We'll cultivate on the Heavenly King's Tablet steps. Lu Ming said and strode forward. The four of them walked towards the first Heavenly King tablet. When he arrived at the bottom of the Heavenly King tablet, he realized that there were already some people on it. The Corpse King was sitting cross-legged on the 26th step. Wang Ju, First Ghost, and a few others were sitting cross-legged on the 25th step. There were a total of 27 steps on the Heavenly King's stele. The 21st to 27th steps were dark red and were the rewards for the top 108 on the Heavenly King list. Only they could go up. Only the first place could go up to the highest 27th step. The 26th step could be reached by the 2nd to 4th place. On the 25th step, the 5th to 10th place would be able to go up. On the 24th step, the 11th to 20th place can go up. The last 38 would be able to reach the 21st step. The 108 spots were distributed on the 7 steps. Lu Ming rose into the air and flew to the top of the stairs. Above his head, the Heavenly King's steel's illusionary shadow scattered down rays of light that enveloped Lu Ming. Without the protection of the Heavenly King's steel, only death awaited them if they ascended the dark red steps. Bang! Lu Ming landed on the highest step. In an instant he felt an extremely strong sense of all kinds of concepts. He even felt that there were experts fighting and cultivating. There was an imprint left behind by a supreme expert on the Heavenly King's steel. No one knew when the Heavenly King's steel was left behind. It had been standing there for countless years. Throughout history, many martial royal realm experts had wanted to move it away and take it for themselves years, but none of them had been able to do so. That was why he had stayed here. Lu Ming immediately sat cross-legged, captured various concepts and began to comprehend them. The various traces of intent here were much stronger than the stairs below. Lu Ming was the first to capture a wisp of the concept of fire. In an instant the world changed. He saw a tall figure practicing the concept of fire. His every movement was extremely mysterious. Chapter 752. 752 Super Spirit C. Xian Yinqing, Kong Jin, and the others also flew up the stairs and began to cultivate. Not long after, the top 108 had all arrived. They all sat cross-legged on the top 7 steps. They had half a month's time to cultivate. After half a month, the Heavenly King Monument would return to its ordinary state and lose its mysterious effects. It would only open again after 3 years. Time passed by quickly. 3 days later, Lu Ming's fire concept broke through in one go and reached beginner level 2. Then he turned to comprehend the essence of the earth. It was much more difficult to cultivate the essence of the earth. Lu Ming spent 10 days before he managed to break through to level 2. Since then, Lu Ming's 4 concepts of heaven and earth had all broken through to level 2. He had met the requirements to enter the Spirit Sea realm. Lu Ming could enter the Spirit Sea realm at any time. At this time, 13 days had passed and there were only 2 days left. Lu Ming planned to continue comprehending the Earth mentality in the next 2 days. The Earth mentality was the most difficult to cultivate, so Lu Ming had to seize this opportunity. In the blink of an eye, 2 days had passed. His Earth mentality had also made some progress and had reached the middle stage of the 2nd level. Half a month's time was almost up. Buzz. At this moment, a message rushed into Lu Ming's mind. Lu Ming was stunned. He thought about it carefully and was overjoyed. The information that rushed into Lu Ming's mind was actually a secret skill. The secret skill was called Super Spirit C. That's right, the name was Super Spirit C. According to the information inside, if a Sea of Soul realm martial artist cultivated this secret technique, the area of their Sea of Soul would be twice as large as others. The spiritual ocean of the spiritual ocean realm was twice as large as others, which meant that the storage of true essence was twice as strong as others, and thus the battle power was naturally stronger. He had heard before that the first place on the Heavenly King ranking would have special rewards that could be obtained from the Heavenly King Monument. Some were martial arts techniques, some were cultivation methods, and some were secret skills. Lu Ming had obtained a secret skill. This was also the reason why Jiang Taishu and the others were so determined to fight for the first place. With a secret technique like the Super Spirit Sea, he would have an advantage among the elites of the Spirit Sea realm. Ah, good. My genuine yuan is already much stronger than ordinary people. With the Super Spirit Sea secret skill, my advantage will be even stronger. Lu Ming laughed heartily in his heart. Although the 6 great ancient clans also cultivated God-grade cultivation techniques, each God-grade cultivation technique specialized in a different direction. For example, after cultivating the Wang family's sky-burning flame technique, one's true energy would be like heavenly fire, capable of burning everything. However, the density of the true energy was definitely not as high as the true War Dragon technique. The true War Dragon technique leaned towards rich true essence. The combination of the Super Spirit Sea and the true War Dragon technique was a perfect match. All of a sudden, Lu Ming felt that the Heavenly King Steel's illusionary shadow above his head had disappeared. He could no longer feel any pressure or artistic conception. The time was up and the Heavenly King Steel had returned to its ordinary state. At this moment, everyone on the stairs opened their eyes. Let's go. Wang Ju and the rest took a glance at Lu Ming and the others before they hurriedly flew away, as if afraid that Lu Ming would attack them. The Corpse King and the rest of the Heavenly Corpse sect also stood up and left. Lu Ming, how's the harvest? Xian Yanqing looked at Lu Ming. Not bad. Yes. Lu Ming nodded and asked, have you made a breakthrough in your concepts? I've broken through. Next I'll be breaking through to the spiritual ocean tier. Xian Yanqing said. Haha, I'm also going to break through to the spiritual ocean tier. Kong Jin grinned. I'm also planning to break through to the spirit ocean realm. Jian Filiu also said. This time many people had made great progress. After the battle of the Heavenly King list, many people would probably choose to break through to the Sea of Soul realm, such as Wang Ju and the Corpse King. After all, the War of Providence was getting closer and closer. There was only a year and 3 months left. The battle of karmic luck was the key. Alright, let's find a place to break through then. Lu Ming smiled. Right now, he had almost accumulated enough supreme-grade spirit crystals. He had to break through to the spiritual ocean tier. Only by breaking through to the spiritual ocean tier would he be able to compete with those top talents on the list of top 1,000 talents. The 4 of them rose into the air and flew away. The 4 of them did not fly toward the city but toward the wilderness. I say, brother-in-law, what good stuff did you get on the top step? Kong Jin's eyes sneaked a glance at Lu Ming. Fatty, you're not allowed to call him brother-in-law, and you're also not allowed to call me little sister. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite. Xian Yanqing gritted his teeth and looked at Kong Jin with a dark expression. Kong Jin shivered and said, there's no need to do this. If I call you that, isn't it just to make you feel closer? If I don't call you that, what else can I do? Whatever you want, call me by my name. Xian Yanqing said through gritted teeth. Alright. Fatty Kong Jin pulled a long face. He then looked at Lu Ming and said, Lu Ming, you haven't told me what good stuff you got. It's indeed a good thing. Lu Ming smiled and did not hide anything. He said, it's a secret technique that can double the area of the spirit ocean after cultivating it in the spirit ocean realm. What? Xian Yanqing and Jian Filiu were both shocked. Haha, Lu Ming, look. You and I are family, can you share it with us? Kong Jin looked at Lu Ming sneakily and said. Sure, use crystals to buy it. Lu Ming said. Crystals? I don't have many crystals. How about this, I'll give you the raw stone. Kong Jin pondered for a moment. A bag appeared in his hand and he threw it to Lu Ming. There are 100 raw gemstones inside. Do you think that's enough? Raw gemstones? You have that many raw gemstones? Other than Xian Yanqing, Lu Ming and Jian Filiu widened their eyes in shock. Ori rocks were similar to spiritual crystals in that they contained massive amounts of energy. However, the energy in the raw gemstones was not the spiritual chi of heaven and earth in the spiritual crystal, but the original chi of heaven and earth. The original chi was purer and more advanced than spiritual chi. The amount of energy consumed by a warrior at the spiritual ocean tier and above was too terrifying. If they used supreme-grade spirit crystals, it would be tens of millions or even hundreds of millions. The higher the tier, the more terrifying it would be. However, it would be different if he used raw gemstones. Raw gemstones were extremely advanced and could be quickly converted into vital essence. A low-grade raw gemstones were worth millions of supreme spiritual crystals. The fatty gave Lu Ming 100 low-grade raw stones, which were worth hundreds of millions of supreme spiritual crystals. One had to know that normal spiritual ocean tier warriors didn't have any raw gemstones. Usually, only martial artists at the higher stages of the spiritual ocean tier and above had raw gemstones, and would use them to cultivate. Alright, that's enough. Lu Ming kept the rough stone and took out 3 jade cards. He engraved the information of the Super Spirit Sea into the jade cards and then threw one to Kong Jin. This time, the few of them had experienced a life-and-death battle. Lu Ming had already regarded Kong Jin as a friend. Although the Super Spirit Sea secret skill was precious, he would not be stingy with it. Then he gave the other 2 jade tokens to Xian Yanqing and Jian Filiu. Chapter 753. 753 Breaking Through to the Spirit Ocean Tier. Lu Ming, I don't have any raw gemstones. Jian Filiu caught the jade plate and was a little dazed. Brother Jian, there's no need for raw gemstones. You can use them for your cultivation. Lu Ming smiled. No, this is too precious. Although Jian Filiu desired it, he still refused. Brother Jian, you're being so polite. Do you not treat me as a friend? Lu Ming said. How could this be? It is my honor to be friends with Brother Lu. Jian Filiu said. Then that's it. Lu Ming smiled. Lu Ming, thank you. Jian Filiu clenched the jade plate tightly and looked touched. Even if they were friends, how many of them could share such a precious secret technique with him? As for Xian Yanqing, he didn't say a word and kept the jade card. Hey, why am I the only one who wants to buy raw stones? They don't want them. This is unfair, this is unfair. Kong Jin shouted. Because you're so rich. Lu Ming said with a smile. How am I rich? It's not fair, it's not fair. Kong Jin continued to shout. Before long, they had flown hundreds of thousands of miles and arrived at a remote, barren mountain. The 4 of them descended. Lu Ming waved his hands and inscribed a large inscription formation on the ground. It was no small matter to break through to the spirit ocean realm, and he could not be disturbed. Lu Ming had set up an inscription formation in this area. If there was anything abnormal, he would be able to sense it. After setting up the formation, everyone each chose a place to cultivate in seclusion. Lu Ming, the cultivation technique that you're cultivating requires a significant amount of energy to break through to the spirit ocean realm. You can use these raw gemstones. Xian Yanqing walked to Lu Ming and threw him a bag. Then he turned and disappeared into a mountain. 200 raw gemstones. Lu Ming opened it and found 200 low-grade raw stones inside. Lu Ming smiled and put away the rough stone. In a flash, he rushed into a mountain and appeared in the supreme shrine. Dandan was lying in a corner, gnawing on spirit herbs, very leisurely. Brat, you're ready to break through to the spiritual ocean tier? Dandan glanced at Lu Ming and said. Not bad. Lu Ming nodded. Your true essence is extremely rich, and the danger of breaking through to the spirit ocean realm has increased greatly. Fortunately, you've cultivated 4 intents, so you should be fine. Let me help you guard. Dandan walked over. Lu Ming nodded and sat down cross-legged. With a wave of his hand, piles of top-grade spiritual crystals appeared in the surroundings. During this period of time, Lu Ming had killed many enemies and gathered all their spiritual crystals. There were more than 500 million pieces. Lu Ming estimated that 500 million yuan should be enough. Bang, bang. With a shake of his vital essence, large piles of spiritual crystals exploded and were devoured by the 9-dragon bloodline. Then he began to refine them crazily. Lu Ming circulated the true war dragon technique and continuously transformed the energy into essential core. Boom, boom, boom. The vortex spun wildly and a large amount of essential core gathered in the vortex. Lu Ming began to compress the vortex. As time passed, Lu Ming's chi cyclone became smaller and smaller. However, his essential core also became more and more condensed, reaching a terrifying level. To open up the spirit ocean, the first step was to compress the cyclone to the extreme, then it would explode. Yes, it was an explosion. At the moment of the explosion, a terrifying energy would be produced. In the Dantian, a spirit sea would be opened. The spirit ocean was an ocean of Zhenyuan. The amount of Zhenyuan it could contain was much higher than the qi current. There was a limit to how much true essence a qi cyclone could hold. Without opening a spirit ocean, one would never be able to break through. However, this process was extremely dangerous. If the cyclone exploded, a single mistake could cause the Dantian to explode. It could even cause the entire body to explode and be crushed into pieces. Therefore, he needed to protect his body with intent. Using intent to block the energy of the explosion would gather in a certain area and open up the spirit sea. On the other hand, Lu Ming's essential core was too strong and condensed. Naturally, the power of the explosion would be stronger. If he only used one intent to protect himself, he would not be able to withstand it and it would be very dangerous. Fortunately, Lu Ming had 4 concepts. Compress, continue compressing. Half a day later, the vortex concept was compressed to the extreme, forming a point. Astonishing energy spread out from within. Success or failure depends on this one move. Explode. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with determination. With a single thought, the cyclone that had been compressed to the extreme exploded with a loud bang. Boom. Boom. It was as if the world had just been split open. A shocking amount of energy erupted and destroyed everything. Block it. The 4 intents of heaven and earth gathered together and formed layers of defense in his dantian. Boom. 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 The violent energy wreaked havoc. Lu Ming's dantian was torn apart, forming a crack. This crack was growing rapidly. Slowly, the crack turned into a pool of water, and the pool became larger and larger. The spirit sea was opening up. This process only happened in an instant. The next moment, the violent energy calmed down and a pool with a diameter of about 10 meters was formed. This pool was the spirit sea. At the beginning of a breakthrough, the area would not be very large, but as one's cultivation level increased, it would become larger and larger. When an ordinary person broke through to the spirit ocean, their spirit ocean would not be as large as Lu Ming's. Lu Ming had cultivated the true war dragon technique and he had opened up such a large area of spirit ocean at the beginning. Lu Ming had successfully opened up the spirit sea and was not in any danger. This was normal. After all, Lu Ming had comprehended 4 types of concepts and had successfully fused them. No matter how strong his essential core was, the defense of 4 types of concepts was enough. The corners of Lu Ming's lips curled into a smile. He had finally made a breakthrough to the spirit sea realm. However, there was only a thin layer of Zhenyuan at the bottom of the spirit ocean. Only when the Zhenyuan in the spirit ocean was filled could one be considered to have truly entered the spirit ocean realm. Explode, explode. Lu Ming continued to blow up the spirit crystals, devouring and refining the spiritual energy to turn it into essential core. As the spirit crystals continued to be refined, the true essence in his spirit ocean increased and slowly filled up. 3 days later, everyone's spiritual crystals had been used up, but their spiritual oceans were not full. The amount of energy I've consumed in my cultivation is still as terrifying as ever. Lu Ming laughed bitterly. More than 500 million supreme spiritual crystals were not enough. Lu Ming then took out a bag and took out 2 raw gemstones. He crushed them and the raw gemstones emitted their qi. The bloodline of the 9 dragons opened its mouth and swallowed the origin qi. Origin energy was much more advanced than spirit energy. The true origin energy in his spirit ocean quickly filled up. In the end, Lu Ming refined another 50 raw gemstones before his spirit ocean was completely filled. What a rich Zhenyuan, what a rich Zhenyuan. Lu Ming Yuan switched to the true war dragon technique. He felt extremely rich vital essence and was in a good mood. The true yuan of a spiritual ocean realm was much stronger than a king's realm. Right now his battle power had also increased by an unknown amount. With a thought, he left the supreme shrine and sensed around. Xian Yanqing and the others should still be breaking through. Lu Ming had the 9 dragons bloodline so he was faster. I'll wait for them while I cultivate. I'll cultivate my super spirit sea first. Lu Ming re-entered the supreme shrine and started cultivating. Chapter 754. 754 The Vast 9 Dragons. A day later, the secret skill Super Spirit Sea was successfully cultivated by Lu Ming. His Spirit Sea had doubled in size and could accommodate more essential core. Of course, when Lu Ming refilled his Spirit Sea, he had used another 200 raw gemstones. This time, if it wasn't for Kong Jin's 100 raw gemstones and Xian Yanqing's 200 raw gemstones, he wouldn't have had enough spiritual crystals. Boom. Boom. On the platform on the highest level of the Supreme Shrine, Lu Ming was cultivating the prison-suppressing heaven technique. His hands, feet, even his shoulders and waist seemed to contain a prison-suppressing steel. His every move suppressed everything and had unimaginable power. Lu Ming only stopped after more than 100 moves. After reaching the spiritual ocean tier, I can finally use the prison-suppressing heavenly art as I wish. Lu Ming revealed a smile on his face. The prison-suppressing heaven technique was a demigod-level bloodline martial technique. The amount of vital essence it consumed was too terrifying. When he was a peak-tier king, Lu Ming did not dare to use it casually and had to control it. After breaking through to the Spirit Sea realm, he no longer had this concern. In the Spirit Sea, his vital essence was extremely abundant and it was completely sufficient. In addition, all 4 intents had reached level 2. Lu Ming did not know what level his combat strength had reached. Following that, Lu Ming comprehended 4 concepts every day and cultivated martial arts techniques. In the blink of an eye, half a month had passed. Lu Ming estimated that Xian Yanqing and the rest should be almost done with their cultivation, so he left the Supreme Shrine. What? Lu Ming felt that something was amiss the moment he stepped out of the Supreme Shrine. He had only sensed 2 auras, but there were originally 3. Buzz. Buzz. As if sensing Lu Ming's aura, Xian Yanqing and Kong Jin appeared in front of Lu Ming. Lu Ming Jianfili seems to have left. Xian Yanqing said. Brother Jian has left? Lu Ming was stunned. He had inscribed an inscription formation. If someone barged in from the outside he would be able to sense it. However, if one went out from the inside he would not be able to sense it. He sent me this information. Xian Yanqing passed a jade voice transmission talisman to Lu Ming. There was only 1 sentence in it. Monsieur Brother Lu, I have something to do. I'll leave first. Don't miss me. Lu Ming guessed that he had not received any news from Jianfili because he was in the Supreme Shrine and Jianfili could not send any messages. Brother Jian, what happened for you to leave in such a hurry? Why did you leave without saying goodbye? Lu Ming frowned. With his understanding of Jianfili, he wouldn't have left without saying goodbye. Something must have happened. I'm guessing it's because of his junior sister. Xian Yanqing said. It's possible. Did Brother Jian go to 9 dragons? Lu Ming furrowed his brows. This was the only possibility. Let's go back to the city and see if we can get some information. Lu Ming said. Then, the 3 of them rose into the air and flew toward the city near the Heavenly King Monument. Soon they arrived at a city. Now, most of the peak-tier kings from all over the world had left. The area around the Heavenly King Monument had returned to its previous desolation. There were not many people on the streets. The 3 of them found a restaurant to see if they could get any information. Kong Jin ordered 50 roasted lamb legs from the restaurant. According to him, they were to be stored. I heard that all the geniuses and sovereigns have gone to 9 dragons in the Sky Martial region. That's normal. There's still more than a year before the Battle of Providence. Every time it happens, the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace will place great importance on it. I heard that all the cultivation sanctuaries in 9 dragons have been opened up. All the cultivation sanctuaries that were closed in the past are now open to the geniuses. Naturally, those geniuses will flock there. Not only the Emperor's Sky Divine Palace but also the Sky Demon Valley, the Heavenly Corpse Sect and so on. Every time the Battle of Providence is near, all kinds of holy lands will be open to increase the strength of the geniuses as soon as possible. After all, the Battle of Providence will affect the luck of a force for the next 20 years. It's no small matter. Even the Martial Emperor places great importance on it. That's right. Those sovereigns will naturally become stronger and stronger if they cultivate in such a holy land. All the sovereigns who are interested in the Battle of Providence will not miss it and will go. Otherwise, they will only be surpassed by others. Right now, 9 Dragons is the gathering place of the wind and clouds. In the restaurant, some people were discussing the recent news. Lu Ming, they're right. Before every Battle of Providence, the major forces will do everything they can to cultivate their geniuses and open up various holy lands. This is also an opportunity for us to improve our abilities quickly and compete with those top-ranked geniuses on the list of top 1,000 talents. Xian Yanqing said. Let's go to 9 Dragons. I have a friend there. Kong Jin said as he gnawed on the leg of lamb. Lu Ming was thinking rapidly in his heart. The 9 Dragons city in the Sky Martial region was where the main palace of the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace was located. Martial Emperor Dai was there. He was heading to 9 Dragons, which was very close to Martial Emperor Dai. He was afraid that Martial Emperor De would sense his 9 Dragon bloodline. Senior Jiuyang has already been sealed. He said that he wouldn't be detected for 10 years, so he should be fine. At that time, I'll try not to use the bloodline of the 9 Dragons, so there shouldn't be a problem. If I'm always timid and don't grasp opportunities, how can I quickly improve my cultivation? At this thought, Lu Ming decided to go. All right, we'll set off in a moment, Lu Ming said. After a while, the 3 of them finished eating and flew toward the west. They were going to the nearby region to take the inter-province transportation formation. In the Sky Martial region, Nine Dragons was known as the largest city in the Eastern Barren Territory. Nine Dragons. It was called Nine Dragons because it was made up of 9 huge dragon veins. Each dragon vein was actually a mountain range. It was vast and stretched for tens of millions of miles, winding around the vast land. Among them, there were 6 dragon veins that were in different directions. At the center of these 6 dragon veins were the other 3 dragon veins. The 3 dragon veins converged together, forming the core of the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace. Around the 9 dragon veins were city walls. However, this city wall was not an ordinary city wall. It was made up of countless mountain peaks, which were more than 10,000 meters high. They gathered together and formed a circle, surrounding the 9 dragon veins in the middle, forming the 9 Dragon City. Nine Long City was unbelievably huge. It was almost as big as the Tianjin region. That's right, a city was equivalent to a large region. This was simply unbelievable. From this, one could see how magnificent the city wall surrounding Nine Dragon City was. It was made up of many mountains, which was simply incredible. Obviously, it was not the creation of heaven and earth. It was said that it was built by the Supreme Master in the ancient times. Pulling out countless mountains from the ground and surrounding the 9 dragon veins, what a vast project it was. Lu Ming stood outside the city walls of 9 dragons, dumbstruck at the sight. He found it hard to believe that such a shocking building existed in this world. Was this even possible with human strength? Even a martial emperor can't do it, right? He believed that a Force emperor could pull out a 10,000 m high mountain from the ground, but how many were there? Chapter 755. 755 Chapter 755 City within a city. As he looked over, what he saw were mountains that were 10,000 meters high. All the mountains were side by side and he couldn't see the end. There was a huge city gate under a few of the mountains. It was one of the city gates to 9 dragons. Xian Yinqing and Kong Jin were calm. I'm back. Come, let's go in. Kong Jin carried his hatchet on his shoulder and held a lamb leg in one hand. He gnawed on it as he walked forward. I say, fatty, why are you carrying your axe all day? Aren't you tired? Don't you have a storage ring? Lu Ming asked as they walked. Ever since he saw Kong Jin, he had been seen carrying his huge battle axe every day. I'm carrying this battle axe to lose weight, Kong Jin answered. Kong Jin's answer made Lu Ming and Xian Yinqing stagger and almost fall. To lose weight? Then why don't you stop eating? Xian Yinqing said in disdain. How can you carry the battle axe if you don't eat? How can you lose weight if you can't carry the battle axe? You guys don't know, but it's very tiring to carry a battle axe every day, Kong Jin said with a serious expression. Lu Ming and Xian Yinqing were speechless. They were completely defeated. The city gate of 9 dragons was huge, at least hundreds of meters high and hundreds of meters wide. At the city gate, people came and went, and it was very lively. All kinds of warriors riding on demonic beasts and fierce beasts could be seen rushing past and into 9 dragons. There was no one guarding the city gate and no one was checking, so anyone could enter and leave at will. This was confidence. As the main palace of the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace, 9 Long City gathered the most powerful forces of the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace. In the entire Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace, more than 80% of the experts above the Spirit Embryo Realm were in 9 Long City. The Spirit Embryo Realm, the Spiritual God Realm, and even the Supreme. In addition, Martial Emperor De was also there. No matter if it was the Heavenly Corpse Sect or the Heavenly Demon Valley, if they dared to break into 9 dragons and cause trouble, they would be courting death unless they were Imperial powerhouses. However, if an Imperial Path expert really came, it would be useless no matter how many experts there were at the city gate. The 3 of them walked through the city gate, and what entered their eyes was a huge and wide road that led in all directions. There was also an endless mountain range. The inside of 9 dragons was an entire world. After all, its area was comparable to the Tianjin region. The spiritual qi of heaven and earth is so dense. Also, the essence realm of heaven and earth is much clearer than other places. Lu Ming was shocked. Lu Ming, this is only the edge. 9 dragon veins converge in 9 Dragon City. The closer you are to the dragon vein, the richer the spiritual qi of heaven and earth will be, and the clearer the conception of heaven and earth will be. Therefore, in 9 Dragon City, martial kings and martial artists are everywhere, and even Sea of Souls realm experts are a dime a dozen. Only those who are above the Spirit Embryo realm can be considered as experts, Kong Jin said. Lu Ming sighed, mainly because the conditions were too good. Nine Dragon City is dominated by the dragon veins. Right now, in 6 directions, the core of the 6 dragon veins are occupied by the 6 great ancient clans. With the dragon veins as the core, countless clans and sects of all sizes are scattered all over the city. On the larger scale, these powers all belong to the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace. On the smaller scale, they compete with each other, developing and fighting each other. Every day there are powers being destroyed and new powers rising up. Even the 6 great ancient clans are competing with each other. Only by doing so can more powerhouses be born. Kong Jin explained. He had stayed in Nine Dragons before, so he knew the place quite well. We're currently in the easternmost region of the Dragon Vein. The strongest force here is one of the 6 ancient families, the Wang family. The Wang family occupies the core of the Dragon Vein, and there are countless forces of various sizes scattered around the Dragon Vein. Kong Jin continued. Lu Ming nodded. The 3 of them chose a direction and chatted as they flew. A few hours later, a city appeared in front of them. The 3 of them flew in. This city was called Grand Gathering City. According to Kong Jin's introduction, there were more than a dozen forces of various sizes scattered around the city. And this place had not officially entered the Dragon Vein in the east. It was only in the outer area. The closer it was to the Dragon Vein, the richer the spiritual chi of heaven and earth was. Only the powerful forces could occupy it. Small forces could only be in the periphery. The 3 of them strolled around the city. The city was not particularly large, but there were many experts on the streets. Lu Ming swept his gaze across the area. All of them were martial kings. Fortunately, there were not many at the spiritual ocean tier. He saw a few, but they were not very strong. After all, this was only the periphery of the Dragon Vein. Ah, Ting Ting, it's me, the young master. Suddenly, Kong Jin smiled brightly and greeted a woman. The woman was about 23 or 24 years old. She was wearing a light yellow dress and had a slim figure. She was very beautiful. The woman was walking over. When she heard the voice, she looked over. Then she glared at Kong Jin and walked over. Damn fatty, are you a friend or not? You actually left without saying goodbye last time. Did he lie to a little girl again? The beautiful woman's beautiful eyes sized up Kong Jin as she unhappily said. Haha, Ting Ting, why would I? With a beauty like you in front of me, how can other beauties enter my eyes? The last time I left, I had something to do. See, I came back as soon as I finished. One day apart really feels like 3 years. Look, I've lost weight. As he said that, Kong Jin patted his stomach. Instantly, his fat started to shake like waves. It was a spectacular sight. Humph, don't try to flatter me. Your tricks are useless against me. The girl's lips curled up and she looked at Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing. Haha, Ting Ting, come, let me introduce you. This is Ruan Ting Ting, my confidant. Kong Jin laughed. Go away, damn fatty, don't talk nonsense, I haven't known you for long. Ruan Ting Ting interrupted Kong Jin. She looked at Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing and said, the 2 of you look very dignified, are you friends of this fatty? I advise the 2 of you, this damn fatty is ignorant and incompetent, lazy and good at eating. The 2 of you shouldn't make bad friends by mistake and be led astray by this damn fatty. Hey Ting Ting, how can you say that about me? We're friends, aren't we? Kong Jin said unhappily. Humph, who asked you to be so unreliable and leave without saying goodbye? Next time, don't say that I don't recognize you as a friend. Ruan Ting Ting coldly snorted. Lu Ming found Kong Jin and Ruan Ting Ting's bickering rather interesting and did not interrupt. Of course. With such a beautiful friend like you, how could I leave without saying goodbye? Ah, these 2 are friends I met outside. Their names are Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing. Have you heard of them? Kong Jin introduced Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing. I've never heard of it. Ruan Ting Ting shook her head. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. It seemed that the secret Chamber of Commerce had not updated the list of top 1,000 talents yet. In addition, the Battle of Providence was approaching. Most people's attention was on the top of the list of top 1,000 talents. Not many people paid attention to the Battle of the Heavenly King list. However, this was also good. It was not a good thing to have too many people paying attention to it. Chapter 756. 756 Wind Sword Sect. Lady Ruan. Lu Ming nodded at Ruan Ting Ting and greeted her. Ting Ting, I've just arrived with 2 friends and don't have a place to stay. Do you think we can stay at your Wind Sword Sect for a while? Kong Jin looked at Ruan Tingting with wide eyes. Isn't there an inn? Ruan Tingting said. There is an inn, but it's not convenient for cultivation. It's not as comfortable as your place. My two friends are geniuses. Isn't it better for us to discuss martial arts? Kong Jin looked at Ruan Tingting with anticipation. Lu Ming felt contempt in his heart. This fatty must be trying to take the opportunity to get close to Ruan Tingting. He wanted to be in a favorable position and enjoy the moonlight first. I say, fatty little Qing's sister. Lu Ming deliberately spoke and prolonged his voice. Ahem, what Xiao Qing's sister? I don't know her. Tingting, what do you think of my suggestion just now? Kong Jin instantly changed the topic. Ruan Tingting pondered for a moment and said, all right then. My courtyard is quite big. It's fine if I add the three of you. But fatty, you're not allowed to cause trouble. Kong Jin was overjoyed. He immediately swore to the heavens that he would not. Lu Ming shook his head. This fatty was really a weirdo. However, having a place to stay was better than staying in an inn. Lu Ming naturally would not reject it. Immediately, Lu Ming and the other two followed Ruan Tingting out of the Grand Gathering City and flew towards the west. 10,000 miles away there was a mountain range. The spirit chi here was even denser than in Grand Gathering City. On top of the mountain range there were many palaces and courtyards. This was the sect that Ruan Tingting was in, the Windsword sect. The Windsword sect was just a small force in 9 dragons. There were no more than 10 spiritual ocean tier martial artists in the sect, and the highest cultivation was only at the 3rd level of the spiritual ocean tier. Such a force would be unrivaled in the Tianxian region, but in 9 dragons, it was a small force. However, according to Ruan Tingting's introduction, the Windsword sect was considered to be one of the top forces in the dozen or so surrounding Grand Gathering City. With Ruan Tingting leading the way, the Windsword sect disciples did not stop them. They entered the Windsword sect and arrived at the courtyard where Ruan Tingting was staying. There were 5 rooms in Ruan Tingting's courtyard, so it was quite convenient for a few people to live in. Fatty, brother Lu, Miss Ya, you guys can stay here from now on. However, don't wander around the Windsword sect. There are some forbidden areas that I don't even dare to enter. If I'm caught, I'll be punished. Ruan Tingting said. Don't worry, Lady Ruan, we know that. Lu Ming smiled. After that, Lu Ming and the other two stayed there. 9 Dragons was too big and had countless forces. He wanted to get familiar with it first. In the next 2 days, Lu Ming had a rough understanding of the forces in this area. In the middle of 9 dragons, 3 dragon veins converged. This was where Martial Emperor De and the higher-ups of the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace lived. There were 6 dragon veins in the surroundings, with the 6 ancient families as the main force and countless forces scattered around. Those cultivation holy lands were basically above the 9 dragon veins. It wasn't easy to cultivate in those holy lands. One had to be recommended by the local palaces or by the forces in 9 dragons. It seemed that it would not be easy to enter those holy lands to cultivate. On the 3rd day, a clamor came from outside and Lu Ming walked out of the room. At the entrance of the courtyard, a young man was swaggering in. Solo, this is my courtyard. What do you mean by barging in? Get out immediately. Ruan Tingting stood in front of the young man and said loudly, Your courtyard? Don't forget that this is the Windsword sect. Do you know your crime for bringing an outsider in? Su Luo's face was cold as he swept his gaze across Lu Ming and the rest. They're my friends. It's reasonable for me to let them stay in my courtyard for a few days. What's wrong with that? Solo, you're the one who's guilty for barging into my courtyard without my permission. Now get out. Ruan Tingting said. Humph, a slut is a slut. She actually brought a few men to live together. Solo said coldly. Nest, where did this wild dog come from? You're barking here. Be careful, I'll tear your mouth apart. Kong Jin carried his battle axe and walked over, staring at Solo with an unfriendly look. Fat pig, what did you say? You're looking for death. Solo's eyes were cold and his powerful aura rose up, enveloping Kong Jin. The aura of a peak-tier king. Boom. A powerful aura also rose from Ruan Tingting's body. She was also a peak-tier king. She took a step forward and stood in front of Kong Jin, blocking Su Luo's aura. In a place like 9 dragons, it wasn't difficult to become a peak-tier king. As long as one's talent wasn't bad, and with the support of a huge amount of resources, it wouldn't be a problem to become a peak-tier king. Of course, most of them were ordinary peak-tier kings. They couldn't make the list of top 1,000 talents because they didn't have enough battle strength or potential. Ruan Tingting, you want to fight me for a few outsiders? Solo's face was extremely gloomy. Get out. Ruan Tingting said coldly. Alright, damn fat pig. And you guys better be careful. Su Luo glanced at Kong Jin and then at Lu Ming and Lu Li. He snorted coldly and turned to leave. He seemed to be quite afraid of Ruan Tingting. Tingting, why are you blocking me? Let me tear that guy's stinky mouth apart. Kong Jin looked at the door with an unfriendly gaze. Fatty, don't brag. You're so ignorant and incompetent all day long, and you still think you can beat Solo? He's a peak-tier king. Be careful or you'll be beaten into a dead fat pig. Also, Lu Ming, Monsieur, if I'm not around in the future, don't wander around the Windsword sect. Solo is a narrow-minded person. If they see you, I'm afraid they'll deal with you. Ruan Tingting warned. Looking at Ruan Tingting's serious expression, Lu Ming was really speechless. Were they so weak in her eyes that they couldn't even deal with Solo? It must be that Kong Jin's impression in Ruan Tingting's heart was too bad. Tingting, why is that guy targeting you? Kong Jin asked. He wanted to pursue me in the past but I rejected him. That's why he's been targeting me ever since. Ruan Tingting said. He's like a toad lusting after a swan's flesh. Tingting, your ideal husband is a handsome and extraordinary hero like me. Kong Jin patted his chest with a triumphant look. Shameless. Ruan Tingting glared at Kong Jin and then said to Lu Ming and the rest, I have something to do and need to go out for a while. You guys must not wander around the Windsword sect. Ruan Tingting jogged out of the room after giving him some more instructions. I say, Fatty, you've never revealed your cultivation in front of Miss Tingting before? Lu Ming asked curiously. No, I originally wanted to use my handsome and unruly appearance to conquer her. What do you think? Do you guys think I have a chance? Kong Jin's small eyes were wide open as he looked at Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing with a hopeful look. You're shameless. Xian Yanqing left these words and returned to his room to cultivate. You'd better use your cultivation to conquer her. Lu Ming patted Kong Jin's shoulder, turned around and walked into the room. Hey, what's the meaning of this? Make it clear. Kong Jin shouted. Chapter 757. 757 Rank 6 Alchemist. Time flew by and 2 days passed. In the room, Lu Ming sat cross-legged, a green flame dancing between his eyebrows. Break. Lu Ming muttered and activated the meditation with all his might. The green flame flickered, then shrank rapidly and disappeared. After a while, another kind of flame suddenly appeared between his brows. It was a blue flame. The blue mental energy fire represented that Lu Ming's inscription Dao had already reached level 6. A rank 6 alchemist, he exclaimed. The corners of Lu Ming's mouth curled into a smile. Through his inner vision he saw a spirit lamp in his sea of consciousness. It was shining with a blue spirit fire, gorgeous and beautiful. Lu Ming's inscription Dao had long reached the limit of the 5th level. After this period of cultivation he finally broke through and reached the 6th level. A level 6 inscriber was equivalent to a spiritual ocean tier cultivator. Now, I can take a look at the seal left behind by Master. Lu Ming controlled the mental energy fire and directed it towards the seal left by Lien Tsang. The seal left by Lien Tsang was easily broken. When the Dao of inscription was at level 5, it couldn't be opened, but at level 6, it was easily opened. It contained all the experiences and insights of a rank 6 alchemist left by Lien Tsang. Lu Ming felt as if he had obtained a treasure. He started to comprehend and cultivate. 2 days passed in the blink of an eye. Fatty, Lu Ming, Monsieur, you guys stay here for a few days. I have something to do and will be out for a few days. Ruan Tingting said to Lu Ming and the other two. Tingting, you're going out for a few days. Where are you going? Kong Jin asked. Nothing much. I need a few days to complete a mission issued by the sect. Ruan Tingting said. A mission? Bring me along. Lu Ming, do you guys want to go? Kong Jin looked at Lu Ming and said. All right. Lu Ming nodded. He had been here for a few days. Lu Ming wanted to go out and have a look around to understand the situation. You guys want to go together? I'm telling you, this mission has a certain degree of danger. Ruan Tingting said. If there's danger, then all the more we have to go. Tingting, don't worry, I'll protect you. Kong Jin seized the opportunity to please him. Ruan Tingting pondered for a moment. You guys can go if you want. But don't run around. You have to stay by my side. Okay, no problem, I'll definitely be by your side. Kong Jin immediately agreed. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing did not say much. They followed Ruan Tingting out of the Wind Sword sect and arrived outside of Grand Gathering City. This time, the main mission was to kill a peak 5th level demonic beast, the Black Devil Venomous Scorpion. The location was in a dark swamp more than 300,000 li away from Grand Gathering City. According to Ruan Tingting, the dark swamp was filled with poisonous things and was very dangerous. Therefore, she had called a few of her good friends to go with her. Her good friends were not from the Wind Sword sect, but from other forces. Outside of Grand Gathering City, Lu Ming and the rest saw 2 other young men, a man and a woman. The woman was very beautiful and was about the same age as Ruan Tingting. The man was also quite handsome. Through Ruan Tingting's introduction, Lu Ming and the rest found out that the woman's name was Qiao Xian. She was a disciple of the Sea Cloud sect, another sect near Grand Gathering City. The man's name was Shi Kai, and he was also a disciple of the Shi family, one of the forces in Grand Gathering City. Tingting, who are they? Qiao Xian looked at Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing and Kong Jin curiously. Ah, nice to meet you, beautiful. I'm Kong Jin. Kong Jin was the first to greet Qiao Xian. His small eyes scanned Qiao Xian's body up and down, and they were shining brightly. This damn fatty, he's just like you. Xian Yanqing whispered in Lu Ming's ear. Lu Ming immediately pulled a long face. In justice, he was greatly wronged. When did he become as lecherous as Kong Jin, staring at every beautiful woman he saw? Ruan Tingting glared at Kong Jin and ignored him. She introduced him to Qiao Xian. This is Lu Ming and this is Miss Xian Yanqing. Lu Ming? Qiao Xian's eyes suddenly lit up. Xian, you know Lu Ming? Ruan Tingting asked. I don't know him, but this name is very familiar. I think I've heard it before. Qiao Xian's brows furrowed. It's probably someone with the same name. There are many people with the same name in the world. Ruan Tingting said, not minding it. Qiao Xian glanced at Lu Ming and nodded. Then the group of them flew in the direction of Dark Swamp. It didn't take long for them to arrive at the 300,000 li mark. Ahead of them was the Dark Swamp. You guys have to be careful later, don't get lost. Ruan Tingting was worried and reminded him again. Lu Ming smiled bitterly. This lady had a good heart. However, no matter how he looked at it, she was too naive. Lu Ming and the other 2 naturally nodded. Then everyone carefully flew in. Not long after they flew in, there were many poisonous insects that pounced at them. However, their levels were not high and they were easily killed by Ruan Tingting and the others. Qiao Xian and Shi Kai were both peak-tier kings. The dark swamp was huge and the group had advanced for tens of thousands of miles. We're almost at the Black Devil Scorpion's lair, be careful. Ruan Tingting said. Everyone retracted their auras and continued forward. That's the Black Ghost Scorpion. Kill. In a swamp, he found a huge black poisonous scorpion. Its entire body was black as if it was cast from steel. This was the target of their trip, Black Ghost Scorpion. Ruan Tingting shouted and immediately charged at the Black Ghost. The blue sword light was crystal clear and enveloped the Black Scorpion. CSI. The Black Ghost Venomous Scorpion let out a screech, and its black tail stabbed towards Ruan Tingting like a black lightning. Clang. Clang. The sound of metal clashing rang out, and the blue sword light dissipated. Ruan Tingting's figure could not help but retreat. Let's attack together. Qiao Xian shouted and charged forward with Shi Kai. Qiao Xian used a soft whip, while Shi Kai used a large hammer. The 2 of them joined hands with Ruan Tingting, and they continuously attacked the Black Devil Scorpion. Although the Black Ghost Venomous Scorpion was strong, it was still no match for the joint forces of 3 martial artists of the same level. Not long after, its black shell was cut open by Ruan Tingting's long sword, and black blood oozed out. During this process, Lu Ming and the other 2 did not interfere. CSI. Seeing that it couldn't win, Black Ghost Scorpion turned around and ran madly in the swamp. Chase. Ruan Tingting and the other 2 quickly chased after Black Devil Scorpion. Let's go and take a look. Lu Ming said and the 3 of them followed him. In the blink of an eye they had covered thousands of miles. Bang. Just as the Black Ghost Venomous Scorpion escaped to a mound, rays of light suddenly emanated from the mound, forming a combat sword. The sword slashed the Black Ghost Venomous Scorpion, splitting it in half in the air. What's going on? Ruan Tingting and the others were shocked and couldn't help but stop. A formation? Interesting. Lu Ming muttered. Chapter 758. 758 Treasure, the Miao family. Tingting, there seems to be a formation here. Qiao Xian carefully examined the mound and frowned. Why is there a formation here? Could it be the Immortal's cave of a certain senior? Shi Kai's eyes lit up. Ruan Tingting put the corpse of the black ghost venomous scorpion into her storage ring and also examined it. This mound looks like it's been here for a while. It's covered with weeds, and I reckon that no one has been here for a long time. Could this be a cave abode left behind by a senior expert? A relic left behind? It's possible. Qiao Xian and Shi Kai's eyes lit up. 9 dragons had given birth to countless powerhouses throughout its history. Some of them did not have any descendants and would leave behind cave abodes and relics after their deaths. If anyone were to encounter them, it would be a great opportunity. Now, could it be that they had encountered such an opportunity? The few of them were overjoyed. But how do we break this formation? If we inform the elders of the sect, we won't get a share. Ruan Tingting said with a frown. This formation is quite powerful. That black ghost scorpion was killed in an instant. I've only learned a little about the Tao of Inscription, so I can't break it at all. Qiao Xian sighed. The 3 of them looked at each other and could only feel anxious. Did he really have to hand over this rare opportunity to the elders of the sect? They were a little unwilling. I know a little about inscriptions, let me try, he said. Lu Ming smiled and stepped forward. Lu Ming, you know the Tao of Inscription? Ruan Tingting looked at Lu Ming in surprise. Yes, I understand. Lu Ming nodded. He sized up the mound and said, the owner of this mound should be a rank 6 alchemist. The formation he set up is a rank 6 formation. A level 6 formation? Then how do we break? Ruan Tingting opened her mouth, but before she could finish her words, she stopped and her beautiful eyes widened. Lu Ming's fingertips danced in the air. In an instant, dense runes appeared in the air and flew toward the mound. So fast. Ruan Tingting, Qiao Xian and the rest were dumbfounded. Lu Ming's speed of inscribing inscriptions was too fast. With a wave of his hand, hundreds of inscriptions seemed to appear. Buzz. On the mound, a dazzling light appeared and mysterious inscriptions appeared. Boom, boom, boom. In the next moment, the mound actually split into 2, revealing a dark passage. It's opened? Ruan Tingting and the others were dumbfounded and only reacted after a long time. Lu Ming, I didn't expect your Tao of Inscription to be so profound. You even hid it from us before. Ruan Tingting blinked her big eyes and was a little surprised. Ah, damn it. Lu Ming has stolen the limelight. Damn it. Fatty was empty, wailing in his heart, feeling indignant. Let's go in. Lu Ming smiled. All right, let's hurry in. A group of 6 people walked towards the tunnel that had been split open on the mound. The passage was very long. After a few thousand meters, the front suddenly opened up, and a rather spacious underground space appeared. This was an underground secret room, which should have been excavated by man. The area was very large. A skeleton sat cross-legged in the middle of the secret room. There was a space ring on the finger of the skeleton. It really is the Immortal's cave of a senior. This senior must have been dead for many years. Ruan Tingting's big eyes lit up. Qiao Xian's and Shi Kai's eyes also lit up. A Sea of Soul Realm expert who could set up a rank 6 formation left behind a storage ring? How many treasures would there be in it? To peak king tiers like them, the temptation was huge. Let's split it equally between the 6 of us? How is it? Qiao Xian suggested. Evenly split? If Lu Ming had not opened the array this time, we would not have gotten it at all. I think Lu Ming should get more. Ruan Tingting said. That's true. Qiao Xian nodded. I don't mind if Lu Ming gets more, but the fatty and the lady didn't do anything. I'm afraid it's not good to split it equally with us. Shi Kai's eyes flashed. Hey kid, what do you mean by that? Are you looking down on me? Kong Jin was immediately displeased. You guys don't have to fight anymore. Everything inside is ours. Right at this moment, a cold sneer was heard. 2 green-robed elders walked in from the passageway. Ruan Tingting, Qiao Xian and Shi Kai's expressions changed drastically. Especially when they saw the clothes of the two old men, their faces became even uglier. The Miao family. You are from the Miao family. Qiao Xian exclaimed. That's right. We are from the Miao family. In fact, we have discovered this cave dwelling a long time ago. It's just that the array outside is quite tricky. We have been thinking of a way to solivere it during this time. We didn't expect that the array would be broken by you. Haha, the heavens are really helping us. One of the old men laughed. You too, there's no proof. You said that you found it first, but no one knows. However, it's a fact that we opened this cave. According to the rules, the treasures inside should belong to us. Shi Kai argued. Yours? Kid, you really have the guts to say that. An old man sneered, his eyes revealing a cold smile. The aura from his body also spread out. It was terrifying, powerful, and vast. Spiritual ocean tier, it's the spiritual ocean tier. Shi Kai exclaimed, his face turning pale. Ruan Tingting and Qiao Xian's faces also turned pale. Senior, since you discovered this place first, it should belong to you. We'll leave immediately, we'll leave. Ruan Tingting was quite decisive. When she saw that the situation was not right, she immediately gave up. Leave? Where to? One of the old men moved and blocked the passage. The other old man scanned Xian Yanqing, Qiao Xian, and Ruan Tingting with a burning gaze. He sneered, our luck today is too good. There are actually 3 beautiful little girls. Stunning, truly stunning. You guys can stay and serve us. How about this, I'll take that girl and you take the other 2, how about that? The old man who was blocking the passage pointed at Xian Yanqing and said. His eyes were burning. You really know how to choose. The other old man pouted. As for Ruan Tingting and Qiao Xian, their faces were already so pale that there was no trace of blood. Seniors, my father is the Sea Cloud sect master. Please let us go. Qiao Xian's face was pale as she said in a trembling voice. So you're the daughter of the Sea Cloud sect master. Haha, then it'll be even more fun to play with. An old man laughed, not afraid at all. Ruan Tingting and the others revealed looks of despair. The Miao family wasn't a power near Grand Gathering City. The Miao family was located on the Dragon's Vein. Those who had the qualifications to establish a power on the Dragon's Vein were not comparable to the powers near Grand Gathering City. They were much stronger than these powers. The Miao family didn't care about the forces near Grand Gathering City at all. Chapter 759. 759 Chapter 759 Suppressed. Lu Ming, don't fight with me this time. There's also Miss Xie. Calm down, calm down. I'll settle this. Kong Jin suddenly sent a voice transmission to Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing. Lu Ming was stunned. Xian Yanqing's eyes glowed with a cold light. He was stunned. At this moment, Kong Jin stepped out and shouted, I say, you 2 old fogies, are you treating me like air? Now, quickly kneel down and apologize to these girls, and this lord can consider giving you a lighter punishment. These sudden words caused Ruan Tingting, Qiao Xian and Shi Kai to be stunned. Fat pig, what did you just say? An old man's face darkened. Old man, are you deaf? I told you to kneel down and admit your mistakes. Kong Jin said with a cold face. Lu Ming smiled faintly but did not step forward. This fatty wanted to show off in front of the beautiful woman. He would let him. Anyway, in Lu Ming's heart, these 2 old fellows from the Miao family were dead for sure. Xian Yanqing snorted but did not make a move. Fatty, you don't want to live anymore. Ruan Tingting's face was as white as snow. She walked to Kong Jin's side and whispered. Tingting, don't worry. With me here, no one can hurt you. I can suppress these 2 old men with one hand. Kong Jin straightened his back and shouted. He was speaking the truth. The 2 elders were both at the peak first level of the spiritual ocean tier. He was confident that he could suppress them with one hand. It's over, it's over. Ruan Tingting, Qiao Xian, and the others thought that Fatty was bragging inside in their hearts. Today they were definitely done for. In fact, they had already decided that they would rather die than fall into the hands of these 2 old men. Fat pig, if you want to be the hero saving the beauty, why don't you take a look at your own capabilities first? I'll chop you up right now. An old man revealed a cold smile on his face. His figure moved as fast as lightning and he clawed at the fatty. Fast, too fast, and a huge pressure spread out, pressing down on Ruan Tingting and the others. They only felt that there was an incomparably heavy mountain on their bodies, and they couldn't even resist. The difference between ordinary peak-tier kings and first-level spiritual ocean-tier supreme beings was too great, and they could kill a large group with a single slap. Ruan Tingting and the other two were in despair. They realized that they might not even be able to commit suicide in the hands of the two old men. However, the next moment their eyes suddenly widened. The fat man reached out his hand and grabbed the old man's wrist. Gotcha. The next moment, the sound of bones breaking came from the old man's wrist, followed by the old man's shrill scream. "Stupid fat pig, let me go!" The old man roared. His body was filled with green true essence, and his cultivation erupted. His other palms smashed toward Kong Jin. Bang! Kong Jin was very direct. He raised his arm and swung it. The old man's body was like a broken gunny sack, heavily thrown to the ground. With a boom, the ground shook and the old man's body hit the ground, creating a big pit. The intent realm and Zhen Yuan on his body all disappeared without a trace. Bang! Kong Jin swung his arm again. The old man created another hole in the ground, and even the secret room started to shake. The old man was lying in the pit, spitting out blood. His body was like a pile of mud, and his eyes were filled with disbelief and fear. With his cultivation at the peak first level of the spiritual ocean tier, he actually had no power to resist Kong Jin. Kong Jin said that he would suppress him with one hand, so he did it. Freak, he's a freak. The old man roared in his heart. Ruan Tingting, Qiao Xian and Shi Kai were already petrified. Their eyes were wide open as they looked at Kong Jin's tall and straight figure. Especially Ruan Tingting. She had known Kong Jin for a while now, but she had never seen him hand anything. She never dreamed that this lazy fatty would be so terrifying. A first-level spiritual ocean tier cultivator was as weak as a baby in Kong Jin's hands. This was simply too unbelievable. It was like a dream. A clown. How dare you be so rude to Tingting? You're looking for death. Kong Jin straightened his chest with all his might, trying to look as mighty and extraordinary as possible. "Tsk, you really know how to act," Xian Yinqing said in disdain. Lu Ming smiled bitterly and touched his nose. Go quickly. Bring the experts of the Miao family here and kill this fatty. I want them to die, all of them." The mud-like old man roared. The old man at the entrance of the passage suddenly reacted and turned to run. However, the moment he turned around, he suddenly saw a figure standing at the entrance of the passage, looking at him with a faint smile. It was Lu Ming, but he did not know when Lu Ming had appeared there. Brat, get lost. He could not be bothered to think too much. He roared and charged at Lu Ming. The terrifying true essence and concept condensed into a sharp blade and slashed at Lu Ming. He wanted to kill Lu Ming as quickly as possible and then escape. He could not let the fatty catch up to him. He was too terrifying. He swore in his heart that as long as he could escape, he would bring the experts of the Miao family to kill that fatty and destroy the Sea Cloud sect. Then he saw Lu Ming stretch out his palm and slap him. Bang! The saber light that he had unleashed with all his might was as fragile as tofu in front of Lu Ming's palm. Wherever Lu Ming's palm passed, all his attacks and defenses turned into bubbles. Then Lu Ming's palm landed on his face ruthlessly. Pop! A crisp sound rang out. The old man felt the world spin around him. His body flew far away and fell in front of Kong Jin. Blood spurted out of his mouth and he was dumbfounded. The old man, who was like a pile of mud, was also confused. Ruan Tingting, Qiao Xian, Shi Kai, and the rest's eyes almost popped out of their sockets. They looked at Lu Ming in a daze, then at the old man who had been slapped until he was dizzy. They rubbed their eyes hard, thinking that they were dreaming. Lu Ming. Ruan Tingting and the others were no longer speaking fluently. They didn't know what to say. First it was empty advance, then Lu Ming. In their hands, two first-level spiritual ocean tier powerful beings were simply trash dolls, without the slightest ability to resist. Birds of a feather flocked together. They thought of this sentence. That fatty was so powerful. How could Lu Ming be weak? And Xian Yinqing. They looked at Xian Yinqing, who still had a look of disdain on his face, and were speechless. Who were these people? Could he be a top figure on the list of top 1,000 talents? Lu Ming, you're snatching it from me again? Kong Jin cast an unhappy glance at Lu Ming. I'm just afraid that he'll run away. Lu Ming smiled bitterly. With me here, where can he run to? It's just a matter of minutes to get rid of these two pieces of trash. Alright, Tingting, how do we get rid of them now? Kong Jin looked at Ruan Tingting. Kill them. We must kill them. Otherwise, the Miao family will not let us off when they return. Before Ruan Tingting could say anything, Qiao Xian spoke up in a decisive manner. Chapter 760. 760 The 100 Venerated Mountains. No, I beg you, please spare us. When we go back, I promise not to say a word. We'll pretend that today's incident never happened and let it go. Yes, let's forget it. The two old men from the Miao family shouted one after another. Unfortunately, I don't trust you. Ruan Tingting's face was cold as a bright sword light poured out. The two pitiful elders from the Miao family were separated by Lu Ming and Kong Jin despite their strength. They were completely unable to resist and their bodies were pierced by the sword light. Taking a deep breath, Ruan Tingting's gaze swept across Lu Ming before landing on Kong Jin. Fatty, you've been hiding it from me for so long. You're so strong but you didn't tell me. Tingting, you didn't ask me, did you? Kong Jin chuckled. This time it's all thanks to you guys. Otherwise we would have been in danger. How about this, all of the storage rings here will belong to you. We don't want any of them. Qiao Xian said. It should be like this. Ruan Tingting nodded. Although Shi Kai was a little indignant, it was all thanks to Lu Ming and Kong Jin this time. He did not have the face to ask for a share of the profits. This place was found by everyone, so let's split it equally. Lu Ming walked forward and devoured the blood essence of the two elders without anyone knowing. Two martial artists at the first level of the spiritual ocean realm. As for the skeleton, Lu Ming estimated that it was at most at the third level of the spiritual ocean realm when it was alive. With Lu Ming's current realm, he was not too tempted, so he suggested splitting it equally. Qiao Xian, Shi Kai, and a few others were all local tyrants. Although their cultivation was not strong, it might be useful to build good relations with them. Well, Lu Ming is right. Let's split it equally. You guys can check it. Kong Jin's Zhenyuan sucked in a few storage rings and he handed them to Ruan Tingting. Thank you, Brother Kong and Brother Lu. Shi Kai immediately expressed his gratitude, his face beaming with joy. As such, Ruan Tingting and Qiao Xian did not decline and began to count. In the end, the six of them split it equally. The mission has been completed. Let's go back first. Thank you for this time. I'll treat you to a big meal in 2 days. Ruan Tingting said with a smile. Qiao Xian and Shi Kai were also beaming with joy. This time they had struck it rich. They left the secret underground room and nothing happened along the way. It didn't take long for them to return to Grand Gathering City. Qiao Xian and Shi Kai were the first to leave, returning to their respective factions. Lu Ming and the rest returned to the courtyard with Ruan Tingting. After returning to the courtyard, Ruan Tingting left first. She had to hand in the Black Ghost Scorpion mission. After Ruan Tingting went to the Hall of Missions to hand in her mission and was about to go back, she was stopped by a figure. Yi Qing, what's the matter? Ruan Tingting's eyes darkened as she looked at the figure in front of her. The person in front of her was a woman. She was quite good-looking, but her mean eyes destroyed her beauty. Ruan Tingting, my father is looking for you. Go to the meeting hall. Yi Qing said coldly. The sect master is looking for me? Ruan Tingting frowned. Yi Qing's father was the Wind Sword sect leader. Whether it was talent or beauty, Ruan Tingting was superior to Yi Qing. In the past, Yi Qing had always been jealous of Ruan Tingting and would cause trouble for her at any time. The relationship between the two was very bad. Let's go. Yi Qing turned around and walked out. The cold smile on her face grew wider and there was a faint smug smile on her face. Ruan Tingting frowned. She had a bad feeling about this, but since the sect master was looking for her, she had no choice but to go. Not long after, Ruan Tingting and Yi Qing arrived at the Windsword Sect's meeting hall. In the conference hall, not only was the Windsword Sect leader Yi Fa present, but there were also a few of the most powerful elders of the Windsword Sect, all of whom were above the Sea of Soul realm. Sulo. Ruan Tingting saw Su Luo behind an elder. Sulo's father was an elder. Sulo looked at her with a cold gaze. Ruan Tingting didn't know why, but she had a bad feeling. This disciple greets the sect master and elders. Ruan Tingting bowed. Rise. The Windsword Sect leader Yi Fa smiled. Many thanks, Palace Master. Wan Tingting said. And Tingting, your Wan family has received the Wind Sword Sect's favor for generations, and the Wind Sword Sect has also nurtured you with all their heart. Now there's something that concerns the rise and fall of the Wind Sword Sect that you need to do. You won't refuse, right? Ye said. Wan Tingting's heart skipped a beat. She knew that they were about to get to the main topic. She said, please speak, Sect Master. As long as Tingting can do it, I will do my best. Tingting, you should know about the 100 Venerated Mountain, right? Ye said. The 100 Venerated Mountains? Could it be that it has already been opened? Wan Tingting was shocked. The 100 Venerates Mountain is an extremely mysterious holy land for cultivation. It is said that there are more than 100 spiritual God Realm Masters who left their marks and inheritances in the 100 Venerates Mountain. It is usually not opened and will only be opened before the Battle of Providence. The geniuses of those great families can naturally enter at will, but small forces like us have a fixed quota. This time there are a total of 36 forces surrounding the 3 cities, Jianghu City, Juxing City, and Jufeng City. There are only 30 spots, and only the 6 most powerful forces are qualified to be allocated spots. Therefore, after 10 days, the 36 forces will send their strongest experts to compete for the first 6 spots. Ye explained. Sect Master, for this kind of competition, it'll definitely be spiritual ocean tier warriors fighting, right? My cultivation is low, how can I help? Wan Tingting asked in confusion. That's right, it'll naturally be a spiritual ocean tier expert. My Wind Sword Sect's patriarch will also come out of seclusion to battle. However, with my Wind Sword Sect's strength, it's impossible for us to enter the top 6. We'll have to ask for external help. Only then can we enter the top 6. I can't miss this opportunity. When the time comes, a few geniuses from my Wind Sword Sect will be able to enter, and will be able to rise in the future. Ye said. Wan Tingting still didn't say anything. She still didn't know what she needed to do. Tingting, to tell you the truth, the 2 seniors of Clear River Mountain have taken a fancy to you. As long as you agree to marry them, they will help my Wind Sword Sect. In that case, my Wind Sword Sect will have a high chance of getting into the top 6. After Ye finished speaking, he looked at Wan Tingting with bright eyes. Boom, boom, boom. Wan Tingting's mind seemed to have been struck by lightning. After a long time, Ye true motive was finally revealed. He wanted him to marry the 2 monsters of Mount Qinghe. The 2 monsters of Qinghe were 2 old monsters who had lived for more than 1,000 years. They were both vicious and eccentric, and they were famous in the vicinity of Grand Gathering City. Ye actually wanted to use her as a condition to marry the 2 old monsters in exchange for their help. Yes, she was married to 2 old monsters at the same time. Wan Tingting never expected such a thing to happen. I don't agree. Wan Tingting clenched her fists tightly and took a deep breath. She looked at Ye with determination. Ye frowned, and so did the other elders. Tingting, you have to know how important this opportunity is to the Wind Sword Sect. The 2 seniors from Clear River Mountain are at the 4th level of the Spiritual Ocean Realm and the peak of the 3rd level of the Spiritual Ocean Realm. With their help, we'll definitely be able to get into the top 6. Even if we're in 6th place, we'll still have 3 spots. This matter concerns the rise and fall of the Wind Sword Sect. Ye emphasized. Chapter 761. 761 Forced. No, I don't agree. Sect Master, if you want help, you can ask someone else. Why must you ask the 2 monsters of Clear River? Wan Tingting said. Someone else? Then what kind of expert can you invite, tell me? Ye sneered. I have a few friends with extremely high cultivation and powerful combat strength. You can ask them to help us. Wan Tingting thought of Lu Ming, Kong Jin, and Xian Yanqing. Haha, Wan Tingting, you're not talking about the boys who live in your courtyard, are you? Beside him, Solo burst out laughing. That's right, it's them. Wan Tingting said through gritted teeth. Kong Jin and Lu Ming could easily crush the 2 elders of the Miao family who were at the peak of the 1st level of the Spiritual Ocean tier. Their combat strength was definitely above the 2nd level of the Spiritual Ocean tier. Wan Tingting thought that if she begged them, Kong Jin and the others might agree. Hee, what a joke. What can those few kids do to help us? Are you a burden to us? That girl is pretty, as beautiful as a fairy. Do you want her to use her beauty as a trap? Ah. Solo laughed out loud. She's just trying to find a reason to shirk her responsibility. She doesn't care about the sect at all, she only cares about herself. Yi Qing coldly said. Alright, the two seniors of Mount Clear River are at the peak of the 4th and 3rd level of the spiritual ocean realm. Where can we find such combat power? Only finding them is the safest. This matter is settled. Ye Fei said. No, I don't agree. Sect Master, you know what kind of people the two monsters of Qinghe are. They are two old monsters. Who knows how many innocent girls have died at their hands? Wan Tingting shook her head. Nonsense, the two seniors of Qinghe Mountain are not that kind of people. You must agree to this. Ye Fei's face darkened as he scolded. That's right, Wan Tingting. Those are two powerful people in the spiritual ocean tier. It's your fortune to be able to marry them. This is also a benefit that the sect fought for you. It's fine if you don't thank them, but you dare to reject them? Yi Qing's eyes glowed with joy as she coldly said. Since it's so good, why don't you get married? Since it's for the good of the sect, then get married. Wan Tingting stared at Yi Qing and called out. Nonsense. The two seniors of Mount Qinghe have their eyes on you. Alright, this matter is settled. Go back and pack up. In 2 days, follow me to Mount Qinghe. Ye Fei slammed the table and made his decision. No, I won't marry you. I'd rather die than marry you. Unless you kill me and bring my body over. Wan Tingting gritted her teeth, her eyes red as she looked at Ye Fei with determination. Impudent. Evil creature. What an ingrate. The other elders shouted in anger and glared at Wan Tingting. Ha ha ha. Wan Tingting suddenly burst out laughing. At this moment, her heart was as cold as ice. She was completely disappointed in this sect. For generations, the Ruan family has given our all for the Wind Sword sect. We've fought bloody battles and made countless contributions. My big brother died in battle for the sect. The Ruan family has never owed the sect anything. You don't have to use any favors to pressure me. Wan Tingting completely exploded. She stood up straight and glanced at Ye Fei and the elders. Her eyes were filled with disappointment. You guys don't have to give any excuses. Whatever you say is for the sake of the sect's rise and fall. You're just doing it for your own selfish reasons. You want to send your descendants, these few pieces of trash, to the 100 Venerate Mountain. Are they the most talented in the Wind Sword sect? Wan Tingting pointed at Yi Qing and Su Luo. Bitch, what did you say? Who are you calling trash? Yi Qing screamed. Isn't it? How many resources has the sect spent on you? If these resources were used on me, I would have broken through to the Sea of Soul realm long ago. You, on the other hand, have only just broken through to the Peak tier King tier. If you're not trash, what are you? Wan Tingting shouted. Bitch, you're talking nonsense. I want you dead. Yi Qing's voice was sharp and her face was twisted. Wan Tingting had hit her where it hurt. If the quota obtained this time is really given to those talented disciples, I can agree to it. But if it's given to these few trash, I will definitely not agree, Wan Tingting said. The matter of the spots, the sect is free to arrange, it's not up to you to interfere. Ye Fei's face was very cold as he said in a deep voice. Wan Tingting shook her head and smiled bitterly. Her talent was definitely one of the best in the Wind Sword sect. However, she was usually suppressed in all aspects. All the good resources would be given to Yi Qing, Su Luo, and the others first because they had a backer. As for her, most of her resources were obtained by completing missions on her own. She wouldn't say anything about this. They were born into different families and that was how fate was. She could only rely on herself. But now Ye Fei and the others were so shameless that they wanted to sacrifice her in exchange for Yi Qing and the others' opportunities. She would never agree. I'll say the same thing again. Either you kill me or I won't agree to this. Wan Tingting's reply was decisive. Wan Tingting, you'd better think it through. You should know that your parents are still in the sect. You'd better consider their safety. Ye Fei said in a deep voice. Wan Tingting's delicate body trembled violently, and her face was deathly pale, without a trace of blood. Ye Fei actually used her parents to threaten her. Was this something a sect leader should do? Despicable, shameless Ye Fei, you guys are despicable. Wan Tingting shouted. You bastard. How dare you? Wan Tingting, come with me to Mount Qinghe in 2 days. Otherwise, I'll collect your parents' bodies and you'll still have to go. Ye Fei stood up and released a powerful aura that pressed down on Wan Tingting. Wan Tingting's body trembled, and a trace of blood appeared at the corner of her mouth. Her eyes were filled with despair. She had no choice. Her parents' lives were in the hands of the Wind Sword sect. She could only compromise. Hee hee, Ruan Tingting, aren't you pretty? Congratulations, you've married two almighty men. Yi Qing let out a gloating laugh. Haha, Ruan Tingting, when I enter the 100 venerated mountains in the future, I will obtain a great opportunity and become a peerless expert. I will definitely not forget your kindness. Solo laughed heartily, extremely carefree. Trash like you will never achieve anything great. Ruan Tingting glared at them coldly, then turned around and strode out of the meeting hall. Humph, bitch, just you wait. Yi Qing snorted. Ruan Tingting walked out of the meeting hall in a daze. She felt despair in her heart. The road ahead was long, but she could not see any hope. She flew out of the Wind Sword sect in a daze and disappeared into the distance. She only returned to the courtyard in the evening. Tingting, what's wrong? Why are your eyes so red? Did someone bully you? Kong Jin quickly asked after seeing Ruan Tingting. I'm fine. Now all of you move out of my courtyard and leave the Wind Sword sect. Ruan Tingting said coldly. You want to drive us away? What? Kong Jin was a little stunned. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing heard the commotion and walked out. Chapter 762. 762 Chapter 762 Crisis. Why are there so many whys? I hate you and I don't welcome you now. Get lost, I don't want to see you. Ruan Tingting's face was cold as she asked him to leave. Tingting, what's wrong? You were fine before. What's wrong with you? Kong Jin asked. Didn't you hear me telling you to leave? You're not welcome here, so leave quickly. Are you going to bully me just because you have a high cultivation level? I'm not afraid. Ruan Tingting called out stubbornly. Tingting, what's the matter? Tell us and I'll help you solve it. Kong Jin shouted. Ruan Tingting gritted her teeth and almost said it, but then she remembered that there were patriarchs at the 3rd level of the spiritual ocean tier in the Wind Sword sect, as well as several experts at the 2nd level of the spiritual ocean tier. If she told Kong Jin and the others, wouldn't she just implicate them? She gritted her teeth and didn't say anything, only wanting Kong Jin and the others to leave. Fatty, let's go. Lu Ming walked over, pulled the spatial link and walked out. But, Tingting. Kong Jin wanted to continue. Let's go, we'll talk after we leave. Lu Ming pulled Fatty and walked out with Xian Yanqing by his side. As she watched Lu Ming and the rest leave, Ruan Tingting could no longer hold back her tears. They flowed down in streams. Lu Ming pulled Kong in and left the Wind Sword sect. Lu Ming, why did you drag me out? Tingting must be in trouble. Kong Jin said. You think I can't tell? Lu Ming said. If you can tell, why did you bring me out? There must be an inside story behind this. She doesn't want to say it, perhaps because she's afraid of implicating us. We can only come out first and think of a solution later. Lu Ming frowned. What do you have in mind? Kong Jin said. Right now, we need to first know what's going on before we can solve it. Let's go to Grand Gathering City first. Didn't we leave behind Miss Qiao Xian's voice transmission Jade Talisman? She's so close to Tingting, so she might know something. Let's find her first. Lu Ming said. Perhaps it's because of the Wind Sword sect or her family. I've seen her cry before. Xian Yanqing said. Let's go to Grand Gathering City first, I'll send a message to Miss Qiao Xian. Lu Ming took out a jade voice transmission talisman. At this moment, his eyes flickered. Miss Qiao Xian sent me a message first, asking us to gather at Grand Gathering City. Lu Ming said. Kong Jin's expression changed. He said, Miss Qiao Xian must have something to tell us at this time. Let's go. The three of them quickly flew towards Grand Gathering City. Not long after, they arrived at Grand Gathering City and saw Qiao Xian at the city gate. Brother Kong, Brother Lu, Miss Xie, Tingting is in trouble. Qiao Xian said anxiously when she saw Lu Ming and the others. What happened? Tingting just kicked us out. Kong Jin hurriedly said. Tingting came to look for me just now. She cried the moment she saw me. She didn't want to tell me at first, but after I asked her again and again, she finally told me that it was because of the 100 venerated mountain. Immediately, Qiao Xian told him everything she knew. Despicable, and shameless Wind Sword sect. What sect leader? What elder? They're simply shameless to the extreme. After listening to what he had to say, Kong Jin's anger rose to the sky like a mad beast. This sect should not remain in this world. Xian Yanqing's voice was also extremely cold. Miss Xiao Xian, you're guessing that Ting Ting will risk her life to save her parents? Lu Ming asked. With Ting Ting's personality, that's very likely to be the case. Xiao Xian said, not good. If you can guess it, how can the Wind Sword sect not? If Ting Ting goes, it might be dangerous. Let's hurry back to the Wind Sword sect. Lu Ming's expression changed. By the time Xiao Xian found Lu Ming and the rest, Ruan Tingting had already started to move in the Wind Sword sect. She had changed into a black robe and turned into a black phantom in the night, flying towards the depths of the Wind Sword sect at high speed. After passing through many pavilions and palaces, Ruan Tingting appeared in a courtyard. Who is it? When Ruan Tingting appeared, a voice came from one of the rooms. Then 2 figures appeared in the courtyard. It was a middle-aged couple. Tingting, it's you. Why are you here so late at night? She asked. The middle-aged man looked at Tingting and asked. Father, mother, come with me. Let's leave this place and leave the Wind Sword sect. Ruan Tingting's eyes were red. Tingting, what happened? The middle-aged couple was even more confused. Father, mother, they want me to marry the 2 monsters of Mount Qinghe. They even need you to threaten me. Ruan Tingting briefly explained the situation. What? How could such a thing happen? Our Ruan clan has been devoted to the Wind Sword sect, but they're still treating you like this. No, I must find the sect leader and ask him. The middle-aged man said angrily. Father, it's no use. They're very determined. In their eyes, it's only right for them to use my happiness to help their children. Let's go. Ruan Tingting said. This was also the reason why she came here personally and didn't send a message to her parents. She was afraid that after her father received the news, he would directly look for Yi Fa, and by then she wouldn't be able to leave even if she wanted to. Yeah, listen to Tingting. There's no need to stay in such a sect. Ruan Tingting's mother said. Alright, let's go. Ruan Tingting's father said through gritted teeth. The 3 of them carefully left the courtyard and headed out of the sect. They bypassed many courtyards and left the core area of the Wind Sword sect. The terrain became wider, but the 3 of them stopped. In front, Yi Qing and Su Luo stood in front and sneered. Behind them, a group of people followed. Ruan Tingting, how dare you? You actually want to betray the Wind Sword sect with your parents and ignore the rise and fall of the Wind Sword sect. You've committed a heinous crime. Yi Qing sneered with a smug smile on her face. Yi Qing, just admit that you're despicable and shameless. Don't use those reasons to pressure me. You're only doing this for yourself. Even if I die, I won't let you have your way. Ruan Tingting's face was very pale. She knew that she would not be able to leave today. Impudent, you bitch, what's your status? How dare you speak to me like this? Men, take down those 2 old men and cripple their cultivation. I'll see if that cheap woman will obey or not. Yi Qing shrieked. A few figures walked out from behind her. Charge out. Ruan Tingting's father shouted as his aura burst out from his body and he rushed out. Ruan Tingting's father also had the cultivation of a peak-tier king. At the same time, Ruan Tingting and her mother also rushed forward. Today he would only have a chance if he killed his way out. Ruan Tingting's mother, who was a level 9 martial king, and Ruan Tingting joined forces to defeat the 2 men. You still dare to fight back? Let's attack together. Solo waved his hand. Immediately the people behind them all made their moves. There were more than 10 of them. 3 of them were peak-tier kings while the others were late-stage kings. With so many experts, Ruan Tingting's group of 3 couldn't rush out at once. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.